off on tangents and asking me that are relevant or practical. Of course, I've got the workbook that I created for everybody, so we can stay in that lane, but we can also drift out into other lanes. And quite frankly, the better that we, yes?
And otherwise, you're good to go. It's recording's on.
Has it been recording or just
It's starting right now.
Yep. All right. So I'll back it up then. So welcome to the Summit +1. As I was saying before we hit the record, we do have a workbook. But if we want to drift outside of that lane of the workbook, I'm completely open to doing that with everybody. Quite frankly, the best classes that I've done with this program, I've run it for probably about 8 years, but I've done versions of this going back 20 years. Even when I was a realtor, I was doing training for the brokerage I work with. So I find that the better classes are the ones that we get, we do the content, but we go outside the content and work around. So if you're experiencing any challenges in your business, I'm sure you are. The industry right now reminds me of when I started in the business. And I'll share with you just a little bit about myself. I got my license in 1992. I was 22, so I was very young. I was still in university, actually, doing my last year. And then became active full-time in 1993, 1994. So actually, I would call myself a full-time realtor. The date would be March the 8th, 1994. Which I jumped in wholeheartedly. You know, I left the job I had to, and so I like dedicated myself completely to the business. And so I sold real estate from 1994 full time until December 2006. So I'm in my 19th year, if you do the math, as a broker and a manager. So I left the industry, became a broker. I worked for Royal LePage Real Estate Services, which is basically Royal LePage Canada's corporate offices. So I ran offices here in Mississauga. I became the area manager, so I oversaw a number of offices in Mississauga. And then in 2015, November 5th, which is coming up, Chris and Jeff, they purchased our corporate office. And so I've been here. Matt was with me at corporate. He's one of my staff that's been with me for a long time. And so is Mary Murray, if you're at our branch, and Lorraine. So they are my core team that work with me. Great people. All of our staff are great. I mean, I can't say enough about them. And but that's a little bit about me. I also I went back and did a master's degree, and I wrote a paper, my thesis on real estate. And I wrote a paper called Real Estate Performance Predictors. And I used my background in psychology, and I had been certified in 2005 as a assessor in emotional intelligence, which is a science that's more known now. Back then, it was kind of in the shadows, but it's really a hybrid of psychology and business, right? They merge the two to determine, you know, what your abilities are. You know, in society, dealing with your interpersonal things and your intrapersonal inside and inter with other people. And so assessing yourself on the same scales that you would for an IQ test, right? So there's EQ tests and IQ tests. So I used a lot of that in doing my research, and I really wanted to find out, not that I've solved the riddle, but I wanted to find out what is it that you can use as a predictor to success in real estate. So we'll cover some of that stuff over the program. And of course, I had to defend the thesis, and I got the passing grade on it, which is great. They either pass you or they fail you. There's no actually more number or marks they give you on the thesis, right? You're either up or you're down. And so I used a lot of the core mechanisms from that thesis to create this course and do all of my training. I also have been very involved in organized real estate. That's probably how you know me most in the company. I do a lot of the regulatory stuff, right? So whenever they want to do a session on, you know, TRESA or TREB rules and things like that, I'll generally be brought in to discuss that, because I was the president of the Mississauga Real Estate Board. I was chair of arbitration, chair of professional standards, chair of government relations. So I did a lot of, you know, work in the industry. And right now I work with AREA, which you're probably familiar with, right? So you pay your dues to them. And I'm part of their government relations team that goes out to all the MPPs in the province of Ontario to advocate for our business. Right now, I'm very heavily involved in the whole IPRO mess. So I've been dealing with the MPPs and the politicians, educating them on what's happened here. And of course, it is being investigated by the OPP. It's being investigated by Peel Region. It's been investigated by law firm, and there's another audit being done, right? So there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. We're going to probably in the next week or two, because an interim report has come out on that. We're going to see some, things, results, and then going forward, I hope we see some dramatic results and changes. And so already a lot of work's being done behind the scenes to, hopefully prevent this from happening again. But that's a little bit about me. Again, I'm an open book. If you guys want to go off on a tangent, I'm A-okay with that. My sessions, I think they block me off for 2 hours in the course. I generally go about 3, right? Sometimes I'm longer, but if you have to leave, please get up. You're not going to insult me and leave. If you're at home, log off. Again, I don't get insulted. You guys are running a business, and if I overrun my time, I'm good with you getting up and going and stuff. And reach out to me or Matt during the course. You'll have all of our contact information. If you have any questions, send me an email or call me, whatever. We'll work through it. Okay. Any questions before we get going? No? So we're going to start with a fun drill today. Matt's going to put up, just not yet, he's going to put up an image, and the first person that can identify, it's a brain test, okay? So I know we're all, I've got my coffee, everybody got their coffees here. I know we're a little bit sluggish. It's 10 a.m. in the morning on a Friday, so we're already thinking about what we're doing on the weekend. But I got a little brain test for you. So I've never done one of these before like this. And the first person that gets the right answer is going to get one of the books. And so I should say, for those of you that attend all of the courses, and there's 5 of them. So we have today, we have next Friday, we have the Friday after, which is Halloween. We're not doing a course on Halloween, okay? We're having a party here. I'm going to dress up as Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
I love that.
Yes, so we will not have a class here on October 31st, but then the following Friday and then the last Friday is our big class. It's a kind of crescendo of the program. It's a negotiation one. We'll do a lot of role playing. It's by volunteer. I recommend anybody that's at home that you come in for that one, because I also provide you lunch. So those of you at home, we have bagels and cream cheese and coffee here. So not to, rub it in, but if you want to come in, you get bagels and coffee. From Panera. And so when we do the last course, we'll have Panera, and then we'll have a full lunch that I'll provide. And it's a negotiation class. And then I do a case study that I got from Harvard. So it's an actual real estate case study from Harvard that we'll work on. We'll also be doing some dialogue. Again, I said before, it's volunteer. I'm not going to force people to come up on, up here. It is nerve-wracking if you're not, in the right frame of mind for it. But I never not have volunteers, and it's actually awesome to watch you guys do role playing. So one person will be a realtor, one will be the seller or a buyer and the realtor, and you just go at each other. Then we flip it, right? So if you're going to be really difficult and hard as the seller, it's going to be payback, right? So it's really fun. And what I do is I buy a whole bunch of books on business and mindset, right? I'm about mindset big time because I did study psychology, and most of my master's degree was in psychology and business, right? And so you're going to have a brain quiz to start today. And these are the books that I have right now that whoever gets it can choose one of these books here as a reward. And we're going to have a brain test at the end of the class. So there's 2 books going out today to a winner. And even though I know people will take my course over and over again, I've never done this one. So you're not going to have any advantage. Nobody has an advantage. So this is the first time. So we're going to give 2 minutes when Matt puts the picture up. And so you may want to, if you're in the room, you want to come up because you don't have a laptop to see it, just to see the image. It's a picture, and it is essentially identify the difference, what's wrong with the picture, okay? And so I kind of like these types of things. Why? Because we all see things differently, and sometimes we don't see things, right? And so this is just looking at a picture and taking for granted what you're seeing is all accurate. I will guarantee you there is an error in the picture you're going to see, and most people, quite frankly, don't see that error, right? The ones that do, kudos to you. So Matt's going to manage those at home. So if you identify the error right away, you got to type it into the chat for Matt, okay? So he'll put his hand up and go, I got somebody here. Now, if you get it wrong, you owe me and Matt $20 each. And if you're here in the room and you see it, like I said, if you want to come up here to see the screen, because it is going to come up here, you may want to do that because I don't think the picture's going to cover the whole screen, will it?
Well, it's gonna be a portrait of you, so.
Up to you. If you want to sit in your chair, great. If not, we're going to give you 2 minutes and I'm going to count it on my watch, okay?
What do we do here? We put up our hand here or scream it up?
Put your hand up, scream, yeah.
Say it up.
So at home has an advantage. They're going to see it right on their screen.
Yeah.
Versus us. You're going to have a delay at home though, typing it in versus at here, right? So I think it's equal. All right. Now, if you're at home and you win, we can get the book to you, right? So Matt can put it into the inter-office courier, I guess. We could do that, or you can come pick it up. Either one, right? All right, hang on a second. Let me just get my stopwatch here. I did this quiz yesterday with 3 engineers, and neither of them got it.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do a stopwatch. You're gonna get 2 minutes, all right? Matt, go. Yep, Deanna got it. Deanna got it in 20 seconds.
Oh, what she said.
So the 8 is a B.
Very good.
So Deanna, you get to choose. She might have seen that one before. That's pretty quick. So Deanna, you can choose one of these 3 books or multiple books. So you've got your next 5 moves. You got Think and Grow Rich, which is a oldie but a goodie. You got Mindset, New Psychology of Success. You got a really old book, which is phenomenal, by the way, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You've got The Psychology of Money, and you've got Unreasonable Hospitality. So you can pick whichever one you want, and we'll get it to you. And as I said, if you attend all of my classes, as a bonus, as a reward, you'll all get a book. And I'll be giving books out to the whole course, okay? So you will, we'll do stuff like this every class, okay? We're gonna do another one at the end of the class, another brain teaser, okay?
At the end of this class.
Yeah, we'll do another one, right? So there'll be 2 books going. So who had it again?
Diana Reich.
So congratulations. What's that?
To be fair, it's a long time ago.
Yes. So congratulations, Deanna, you said?
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. That was super quick. I literally had 3 engineers I did this quiz with yesterday just to test it as a test audience. Neither of them got it. I gave them more than 2 minutes. And when I showed it was a B
I'm
instead
looking
of,
at that clock. Stupid clock.
I was focused on the baby for some reason. There's something
Yeah.
wrong with the kid. Like, does the kid got like horns or something, or you know? It's like,
I noticed her hair, the
Yeah.
shadow didn't match, like her hair was to here, and then the shadow was down, so that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's her hair.
Yeah, well, it was the, all right, so now they're kind of like off the map before we even go in the book. I put some numbers up here, right? And actually, I'm gonna give a book for anybody that gets this answer right. So I got 7.65, 4.8, and 1.27. So we'll go at this corner here. What do you think those numbers represent? Interest rates. Good, who said that? Very good guess, but you're wrong. I would love to have that. That answer. And if anybody at home has yes, Matt can actually move. I move around a lot, so I'm not. Go ahead.
Yes, inventory.
Inventory. In what respect are you saying inventory? It's wrong, but I'm just curious what you mean.
Available in the market.
Serene and online says months of inventory, months of inventory.
Yeah.
That's what you meant? Good guess, but no, it's not that. No. It's not that.
Average number of buyers for that price?
For what price? This has nothing to do with that yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Oh, okay, so it's not correlated.
We're just, that's why I boxed it.
It says inflation.
Inflation, good guess, but you're incorrect. What do these numbers represent? So we had interest rates, we had months of inventory, we had inflation, all great guesses. Yes,
Average months on market.
Yeah.
which is my inventory months, good guess? No.
Average month of supply?
The same.
I guess same thing, but no.
Expectation of increasing commission for agents.
That's getting closer.
That's close.
Getting close.
Why is it close? Because you're thinking as a realtor.
Yeah.
So this has something to do with realtors. Yes.
Is it, I was gonna say average amount of deals closed by like different experience levels, but.
Well, he's really
That's
hot.
really
Oh,
close.
he's hot. He's really
You're
close.
right there.
You know, I think I should give him
Just
a
give it
book.
to him, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
close.
you get to pick one of them. So what this represents is the sales to realtor ratio, okay? So this is for 2005. I did it in 10-year increments. This is 2015. And this is what it is this year, right now, end of September. And so you've got, when I was still selling in 2005, the average realtor was selling 7.65 transactions a year, declined to 4.8, and now we're sitting at 1.27. Now that number will go back, this will go up, because we still have 3 months to add inventory sales onto the system, right? We'll probably only finish around 65,000 sales this year, though, which is historically, goes back to the 1990s when we had those kind of numbers. Like we're really, hemorrhaging sales right now. That's why brokerages like iPro fail, because they need transactions to sustain themselves. So that is the sales to realtor ratio in the marketplace. So you get to pick a book as well. Now, this kind of has a correlation to that. And what do you think those numbers are?
Average price?
Average price, yeah, because that's the average price right now. This was the average price in September 2025. So I altered them so you couldn't connect them. But so this is your average price for 2025. This is your average price for 2005, and this is your average price there. So I just kind of was trying to, right? Now, if you want to look at the math on something like that and use a 2% or 2.5% fee, right? The actual earned income is not too far different, right? Because at 315,000, 7 deals at that number, it's going to be pretty close to actually this kind of number and that sale price, right? But that just means there's not a lot of things out there for you to be chasing, right? So I start with something like this. Why? Because it's just to impress upon you that it is a tough business. There's also, anybody know how many realtors are in Trev right now? On approximately? You're close. It's about 75,000, right? I was actually looking for the number this morning. Trev's taking that data out right now. I couldn't find it. They're probably reassessing it, but it's around 75,000 is the realtor population, which has historically been growing, right? I mean, I think it was probably around 30,000 when I started in the 90s. But there is a lot of competition. We now have this thing called PropTex, right? So you probably logged onto the system. PropTex is not just Toronto now. They also have subscribers in Ottawa, Belleville. There's probably 90% of all realtors in Ontario subscribe to PropTex. So that's truly your competition now. It's around 90,000 realtors, right? So just want to see that in your mind that there's a lot of competition out there and you want to set yourself apart. You want to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Because if you're going to be like everybody else, you've done to yourself what I would call commoditized yourself as a realtor. Everybody know what a commodity is? It could be give me an example of a commodity. Gold, I love it. And we're going to talk a little bit about gold today too. Gold is a commodity. What does that mean? Well, gold trades on stock exchange, right? So you've got the Chicago Mercantile Exchange where it will trade. You got it in the London Stock Exchange. It trades there. All of the difference is in the price is the currency exchange. Otherwise, it's exactly the same price, right? So in Canadian dollars, US dollars, pounds, whatever currency of the world you're talking about, it gets converted to that currency, but the underlying asset value is the same, meaning it's a commodity. It's the same, no difference, right? I have an ounce of gold here in Toronto, and you have an ounce of gold in Miami, and you have an ounce of gold in London. It's the same thing. So what we do in real estate, unfortunately, as realtors, is we commoditize ourselves and make us the same as every other realtor out there. That make sense? That's where you got to separate yourself. And our company does a very good job of helping you differentiate yourself so that we don't have you as a commodity. Okay? So we'll jump into the course, Matt, if you want to just pop up and this guy gets a book too, okay? Yeah, so there'll be 3 books go out today at least. Maybe more, who knows? All right, so we should have up there. I get to walk around and I better put this pen down because I have written on the screen when I write on this thing. Yeah. All right, so now I can move this thing, right?
You can, yes, you're good.
Any questions before I get started, by the way? If you do, put your hand up or shut it out. I respond well to all kinds of questions, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to start this thing with a couple why questions and a couple what questions. This is part of your workbook. If you go to page 4, right? I'm going to ask you, why did you get into the real estate business? Now, we're going to have in the audience here and at home varying degrees of experience, right? We have people that are brand new. We have people that are 2 years in, 5 years, 10 years. And what I want to do is have you go back in your mind, and using some psychology, go back in your mind and try and fixate and fix exactly what you were getting into the business. Like, why is that? Simon Sinek has that book he created, right? Let me see if I can get a couple of those for us too. So I got to buy some more for the group. I think I'm only down like 20 of them, so I need about 40 now. Yeah. So what is your why? Why did you get into the real estate business? And I'm going to take. Can I write on this thing now?
Double tap. Your pin button, bottom left.
Yep.
Now you're good.
I'm good. Okay, I'm going to take the 2 most common ones off the table, right? We're always going to say money, right? Like unless you want to make your business a charity, which is fine too, right? I mean, that's your business. Money, and I always hear be your own what? Boss. Was everybody thinking those two?
No.
Oh, of course, you said no. A little bit, right? But I always generally get these 2, so I'm taking them off there. So now, what are some of the other reasons that you got into real estate? And there's a method to why I'm asking and a purpose to why I'm asking this question. Yes.
Mine's a personal one.
Okay.
My family, well, my dad likes to.
You're investors, right?
Yes, he's good for making money, but the realtor himself is very disrespectful.
Right.
I did not like that, and it really irked me, and it made me think, like, if there are realtors out there like this, I want to do it differently.
Amazing. Very good. So bad experience, right, has caused you, and I know your family's into investing in real estate, so it has a dual purpose for you. You get to be able to be the advocate and realtor for your family, but also the polite advocate realtor for your family, not the rude. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
I love to socialize, probably, that's how.
So you like people?
Yeah.
Or you say like people? Until you meet people you don't like. Does that happen? Okay.
Not my kind.
By the way, there's nothing stopping you from firing people that you're working with. You know that, right? This is your business. You have that choice. If you're working with people that don't respect you, that don't like you, that don't trust you, why are you working for them? You know, I got degrees, but I don't have a degree to prescribe Prozac for you. So, I mean, I can't do that. I can go get a glass of wine maybe or something like that, or do a run, burn out that energy. But if you are working with people that are not nice, don't work with them. Get your hand up.
Rohit wants to use his people skills and provide good real estate experiences.
Good experience. Oh, I love that.
And Serene says she has always had a strong interest and curiosity about the industry, and it wants to keep track of how the markets evolve and help people find the right homes. Again, probably just good experience.
So that's actually, if you see, that's one of my questions right there, right? What does it feel to be a client? That's the client experience question we're going to go to. But I love that. It's great. Yes.
I feel housing is the basic need for everyone, and this business will help me to help people and then earn.
Okay.
So helping and earning all together for the most important thing.
Help people. Do you know what the national tagline for Royal LePage Canada is? It's not on any of my books. Do you know?
Isn't it like helping you is what we do or something?
Helping you is what we do. That's actually the national tagline of Royal LePage Canada. All right. So you can use that on your marketing collateral.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. How's it? Oh,
For you.
What else do we got here? Some people say plan for retirement, secondary income. Some people choose real estate as a secondary income. So maybe they're a teacher, or maybe they're an engineer, maybe they're what have you, and they have this as a secondary business, or they're in retirement, but they don't want to fully retire from the work world. So they go and get a real estate license. And I had one, what was the other one? The funny one? Oh, freedom. People do it to, be their own boss and have the freedom aspect. And one lady had told me she was doing it for a sugar daddy. Like legit. It was hilarious. It was funny. And if that's your gig, go for it. All right. Why do I sell the way that I do? So by the way, fill in your workbook, right? Because research has proven if you don't write it down, you're going to forget probably 70 to 80% of what you hear verbally. So if you write it down, you can refer back to it at a later date, right? Why do I sell the way that I do? But I'm going to give you a caveat here. There's 3 ways that you can sell. Anybody know one or all 3? If you've taken my course before, you probably know this. But if you haven't, I'll give you the answer. So you can be a hunter. So this is your method of selling, right? And prospecting. A hunter. You can be starts with an F. We didn't have these people in our lives, we would starve.
Farmer.
Farmer.
Fisher?
We have farmers. Who said fishers? That's true. Farmer fishers, right? And then you have a thing called a hybrid. Those are your 3 things, okay? That you've got. Now, analyze yourself. Put yourself now on the street. You're meeting with people. Are you a hunter? What is a hunter? A hunter is somebody that is proactively every day looking for business. What does that mean? Well, it means that you're actually making outbound communication pieces. That could be on the phone, that could be face-to-face, that could be emails, but you're actively soliciting business. Everybody got that? That's the hunter, okay? I have a bullseye and I'm shooting the bullseye every day. My bullseye is I got to talk to, maybe it's 5 people a day for you. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 1. Again, this is your business. You set those parameters. What's a farmer? Well, a farmer is somebody that's more patient. That's somebody, what does a farmer do? They plant seeds, right? So they plant the seed, and when do they harvest that seed? Months later.
No.
Usually another season type of thing. And as a realtor, another season could be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year, 6 years. We don't know, but that's the farmer type of system. Again, I'm asking you, how do you see yourselves right now as a realtor? Or are you a combination of the 2? Are you a hybrid? Yeah.
Rohit's a hybrid. He draws a lot of comparisons between his old, software service sales jobs, and he's both hunting and farming at the same time.
Got it. Well, I will disclose fully. I was a hybrid too. I was not one specifically. Some people are. My experience is most do a little bit of both. With a lot of people actually more gravitating to the farmer, and the farmer is it's the easier one, right? Because you're not setting every day a schedule for yourself that you're going to talk to 5 or 10 people. This is, yes.
I would say if you're a farmer with that statistic at 1.27, it's not going to work out very well. In
Initially,
this
you're right.
day and age when everybody's like, we want down and out, so you can nurture those relationships. But like, even though you nurtured me like 6 months ago, everybody wants now, so they already met you and 3 others. So
Yeah. No, the farmer is a long-term model, right? So if you're needing an income, your fees to pay your bills, to put food on your table, being a farmer, unless you're investing heavily in collateral marketing, like you're putting stuff out into the neighborhood, you're doing commercials, you're doing that type of stuff, right? Spending a lot of money. So you have to have financial resources to do that. You're absolutely right. The hunter model or the hybrid model is the model that's going to get more immediate success, right? Now, the challenge is for people to become the hunter. What do you think the biggest obstacle for people becoming the hunter is?
Consistency.
There's consistency, yeah. So they don't have a plan, which we're going to talk about a plan today. Confident. Why would confidence, consistency. Let's
If you
see.
don't have confidence, how are you supposed to hunt?
Okay,
Secure.
confidence. So we're missing confidence, okay? When we don't have confidence, what's the psychological feeling that we have when we don't have confidence? When we go into, see, I didn't know anything about real estate. And I was told today I have to teach a class on business planning.
Fear,
And I come into the room, what do you think I've got a lot of?
fear.
Fear, right? I got a lot of this thing. Fear. Now, there's a famous acronym about fear, where you take the letters and put words in it. Everybody's probably heard this, but I'll remind you of it if you're trying to think what it is. What's that? Face everything and run. Okay, so that's the actual less common one, but you're right. It's false evidence appearing real is the one that you hear all the time. So it's called false evidence appearing real. So basically it's a specter, a ghost that doesn't exist, false evidence, right? So we're using evidence that we think we have that's legitimate to make it appear real, right? Yours was cool because it's the less known one. And I actually use an alternative for fear. I say it's face everything and not run, rise, right? Let me give you 5 words that changed part of my life back in the 1990s when I took 2 trainers that I studied under as a realtor, Floyd Wickman, and you'll hear a lot about Floyd Wickman through my program. I was what was called a sweat hog in his, but I also took another guy named Tom Hopkins. And Tom Hopkins was also a real estate trainer. And in the first class I took of his, and both these trainers are from the States, one's from Scottsdale, Arizona, and the other's from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Tom Hopkins gave 5 words to the audience that changed a lot of our lives. And it said something about fear. Do what you fear most. Do what you fear most. Do what you fear most. What do you fear most about prospecting? Is it the words that you don't have? Then learn the words. Is it the knowledge about real estate that you don't have? Well, go get the knowledge that you need to have. And then go and do it. But if you allow yourself not to learn those types of things or have those as obstacles, you can't create a business in real estate. Because at the end of the day, all of our business cards say one of 2 things: a sales representative or broker. It's the same thing. We're in the business of selling things. And let me just impress this upon you as well. Being a salesperson is one of the highest callings you can have in any profession. Yes, doctors, and yes, lawyers and accountants or whatever, but us too. If it wasn't for salespeople in any function, this world, this economy does not occur, does not happen. When you work in a real job at, say, Microsoft or Google, do they not have sales and marketing departments to go out to find the customers, to bring the business in? Yeah. And it's that money that's actually used to pay the salaries of the accountants and the warehouse people and the truck drivers. It's us. So don't feel ashamed about being a salesperson. But you got to get over that fear. So do what you fear most. And something you've got to figure out is, why is it that you're not able to be a hunter or hybrid, connecting with 5 people a day or 3 or 10? I don't care what the number is. That's your business. You choose that, and then set that as a plan for your business. Does that make sense? Don't fear. Face everything and rise. Don't run, and don't treat it as a ghost. Because the psychological impact that has on you, what that does to your brain, it puts you in a negative mindset. Does everybody know how many thoughts a day we have? Take a guess. A thought every day. How many thoughts in a day do you think you have? The average person. 75 thoughts a day?
No,
Oh.
10,000?
No.
10,000?
I thought it was either 12,000 or like 70,000.
Or what?
70,000.
70? You're close. 60,000 thoughts a day is about the average person's thoughts. 60,000. Now they're broken up into 2 types of thoughts. Non-routine Okay? And routine. Anybody want to guess what the difference between a non-routine thought is and a routine thought is? So let's take the routine thought. That's the
So
easier one.
which is related to our life, which the way we operate every day,
Okay?
that's going to be.
So let me change that just for a second. Think about this now. Everybody woke up this morning, I hope, right?
Yeah.
What thoughts did you have this morning when you woke up?
So I thought that I have to prepare everything quickly because I have to go, and then, I have
So give me some of those everythings that you had to prepare. Give me some, give me
like
give me
the food
give me
for
one.
my family.
So food.
Food.
What time is it?
What time is it? Anybody else?
Shower, brush your teeth.
Well, I love that. That's very important when we're in a room with the door closed, that we brush our teeth and we shower. So will we agree those are thoughts that all of us had today?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Why did my daughter leave the kitchen such a mess?
Why did my daughter, right? So, why did my husband, not take the garbage out? All these, those are routine thoughts that you're having every day, right? Is my car got gas in it? If these are things you're thinking about, do I have enough money to pay the groceries today or to pay my bills today? Those are routine thoughts. What are non-routine thoughts then?
Random.
Nope.
Create thoughts.
Creative. Who said that? You did. So those are the thoughts. You're going to get a lot of them today and through my course that are going to challenge the routine thoughts that you have, that you're actually embedded in, that you're entrenched in, right? So I'm going to open your mind. I learned from a World War II veteran. He was a paratrooper in the Second World War. He's no longer with us. And he said, Mike, your mind is like a parachute. If your mind doesn't open up and the parachute doesn't open up, what happens to you?
Right.
You die. You go splat.
Yeah.
So you don't have to agree with everything I say. Believe me, if you don't, I'm just as happy if you do. But I'm going to open your mind. Just have that presence of mind to take that in. And then you filter what you like, what you don't like. Okay. But if you come in with a closed mind in anything you do, you might think, oh, it's the same stuff I'm going to hear. Possibly, right? But if there's one thing, 5 things, 10 things you can learn from me, those things could set you on another trajectory. I'm not going to say I'm going to change your life or anything, but it could, make that 1% difference in your life or 10% difference. So why do I sell the way that I do? Oh, so by the way, routine thoughts are about 90 to 95% of what you do every day. So if you have 60,000 thoughts in a day, maybe you have 5,000 non-routine thoughts. The rest are routine. So mostly we are conditioned animals by habit. Like you get into these routines. That's why people in usually December, they start making these things called New Year's, right? Oh, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to stop eating this, or I'm going to take more time for myself. Like you have these laundry lists of resolutions you start to dream up with in December, and every one of us hit the road hard and fast and do it in January, like January 1, we're at the gym, right? Well, I'm not having that slice of pizza or bagel. Like you're pretty committed, right? And that first week, like there's nothing going to stop you. You're invincible. Week 2, probably still a little bit less invincible, but you're still invincible. And then week 3 and week 4, you start to drift. Why? Because like you're out and about and that slice of pizza looked pretty good. You came to a signature event and we gave you some bagels. Like you get off on a detour. And then the first day you do it, you're like, you have this kind of self-talk with yourself. I'll just do it today. I'll get back on it tomorrow. Tomorrow happens and you do the same thing. Don't worry, I'll do it next week. Then I'll do it next month. The habit that you're trying to start gets broken. For a habit to take an entrenching position on you, how long do you think that takes?
28 days.
21 days.
28,
21.
21, 28.
Depends
I
on
heard
how
40.
drastic the changes.
Huh?
Depends on how drastic the changes.
Somewhat. This isn't even phase 1, 21, 28 days. This is what the world's taught you, is that you can change your habits in a month. It's going to take you probably 6 months to a year to firmly change your habits. Why? Because these habits have been developed over years, decades for some of us, right?
Yeah.
So for you to truly break those things, it's 6 months to a year, right? And you cannot bargain with yourself and say, oh, I will catch up on that tomorrow. You have to stay and maintain on that, okay? I don't know where I went with that, but well, let's go back to this. So why do I sell the way I do? So figure out that for yourself. Are you the hunter, farmer, or the hybrid? Most successful realtors that I've witnessed, and I've seen tens of thousands of them that I've trained over the years, are hybrids. Hybrids. Now, it's not a 50-50 hybrid. It's more like an 80-20 hybrid where they're hunters and farmers. They're more hunters than they are farmers. They make it a place and practice every day to contact whatever they determine they need to contact. Is it 5 people? Is it 10 people? Is it 1 people? They figure that out. You'll figure that out yourself, but they never deviate from that. Next one. What does it feel like to be a client of mine? Somebody had said, which I loved it, which was the experience. So now in your mind right now, all those buyers and sellers you've worked for, put yourself in their shoes. It's a thing we call empathy. Ever heard the word empathy? Empathy is being able to feel what other people are feeling and experiencing. So what does it feel like and what is the experience like for your buyers and sellers that you're working with right now? Yes.
One of my clients said to me about 2 weeks ago, Charlene, you make me feel so special.
Special. What does that mean?
Like, I guess just all the things that I do that are more than a realtor.
Okay.
She's like, well, I took her for a pedicure. So she's
Okay.
like, wow, you make me feel special. And I'm like, you are special.
Special. Okay. I'm going to say special. And can I use the word unique?
Yeah.
Would that work as well? Again, we're going to talk about this. Are you a commodity type of realtor treating every client the same way? So they're a piece of gold and you're not going to treat them any differently. Whereas we have gold, we have diamonds, we have emeralds, we have rubies. Treat people the way that they individually want to be treated. So I like that. Anything else? Yes.
Feel safe.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Safe. And for you, what does that mean? Yeah, like for you, making your clients feel safe. What does that entail for you? Your confidence, your knowledge, maybe, right? So you know the regulations, you know the rules, that you're not going to put them in jeopardy, right? Safe. Yeah.
Respected.
Respected. Love it. Love it. Tell me what that means for you.
Well, you know, a lot of times clients do believe anybody can sell a house, so a lot of their
Commodity, right?
and their knowledge, you know, might not, well, probably isn't to the level that ours is, but we still respect and value, you know, what they feel to be right and acknowledge them.
Yeah.
And give them their.
Okay. So my dad taught me this when I was like 5 years old or 4 years old. I think I can still do it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And this is 2 what?
Aw.
2 years. And in this, it's 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. People don't feel respected when you talk like you have 2 years and they have 2 months and they have 1 year. Okay. That's the respect part. You need to pause and listen more than you speak. That gets you the respect from people, right? And not treating them like the commodity, right? Yeah.
Last one I would say is protect it.
Protected, exact, safe, protected. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Any others? Anybody at home wants to pipe in?
Not yet.
No. The other one I have is valued, that they're valued, right?
It's like taken care of.
Taken care of. Yeah, they're a priority in your life. Never make the excuse. This excuse that a lot of our realtors make. They're running from one client. So I've got Matt as a client that I'm running over to, Sam just left. Oh, point. Sam just left. And I'm running for Matt to go see Sam, but I'm late to meet with Sam. Never be late. Be early, not late. And what's the first thing I say to Zam?
I had enough time.
So sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. I was with another client. That is like a kiss of death for us in real estate. Why? Because Zam, in his mind, I'm his only realtor. I'm only representing him. He doesn't want to hear that. So make up another excuse. I got a flat tire. I got traffic. Don't lie, right? There's traffic, what have you. Don't tell them you're working with somebody else. That's a surefire way to lose that respect. Okay. Next one.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question.
This.
Can they hear the questions, by the way, on the floor?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
So everyone, we're using the mic pickup in the screen, which is, I got it set sensitive enough to hear voices in the back of the room. Just speak in a full voice and everyone at home will hear you, but one voice at a time. As it picks up Mike's voice, it's bringing in his, and then if someone's talking at the same time in the back of the room, it's adjusting the volume and it becomes really weird in the sound. So one voice at a time and everyone at home will hear.
Yeah, that's the difference with the course that I run here. I forgot that we have sensors in here to pick up everything versus the lunch and or the other ones, lunch and learns.
Yeah, we have the
Signature
mic
Live.
pickup with,
They have mics
little
here,
bells.
and you
Yeah.
can't hear it there. So yes, you guys can actually ask questions and the people at home can hear it. Perfect. Go ahead.
So my question is, you said that, first of all, I also believe in that you should reach on time and maybe before time so that, you're comfortable and you can give pass on the same comfort. And then just tell them that, don't tell them that I had a client, But what I feel is that there are times when people want to hear that I have clients, means I am working, I know the market, it's
Sure.
not only them who's working, I'm working with, So,
Yeah, good point.
yeah.
My counter to the point though is that I have a booked appointment with Zam right now. And so I've infringed upon the time that I've committed to him. No issues whatsoever that you're working with a lot of other clients. He's gonna like that, right? Because he's gonna know that you have a lot of people that respect you, trust you, and like you as well, right? But what I'm saying to you is, it's his time. It wasn't Matt's time. So don't use that you were with Matt to him as your excuse. That's the only point I'm trying to make, right? And it's showing a courtesy to them. Like, listen, at the end of the day, we all move around the GTA. It is gridlock, right? And so if you're running from one client to another, you may want to factor in now more than ever that buffer of time to give yourself that extra time. But I have no problems with you saying, I got 5 clients that I'm working with. I have 3 listings and 2 buyers. Not a problem. But when it's Zam's time, it's Zam's time. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
That should not be the information passed on when you're late.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. Okay, so next one. What do I want to accomplish? I'll give you the easy one too. Finance. You want to make money, right? But what are some other things that you may want to accomplish in this business?
Satisfaction of helping.
Satisfaction of helping. Okay.
One of my goals is to be invited to someone's wedding.
Invited to what?
Someone's wedding.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like my biggest motivator.
Okay, so you're
such an accomplishment.
how can we define that one?
Have you ever been invited to a wedding?
I have lots of them, yeah. Birthday parties, milestone events for people. Yeah, I've been invited to a lot of those things.
Long-term relationship.
It's a byproduct of that. But I'm gonna say, like, you're a member of the family, like,
Yeah.
you're a member of a family to be invited like that. That's really good. I like that. Nobody's ever said that one before in 10 years. That's a good one. Be like their family. Yeah. Yes.
I want an office with a window.
Oh, window office. What office are you in?
John Mail.
Okay. We don't have any of those. Window office. That to me is your accomplishment. You've made it when you get the window. Okay, window office. All right. I'll just say it's not all it's cracked up to be. I had one when I was a realtor. I had a corner window office. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I found some stuff on the weekend, old flyers of mine when I was a baby, like in my 20s. And so I've got them in the office. I'll bring it out one day. I'll show you how cute I was. Yeah, lots of flyers I found. What else? What do we got? Yeah.
I want to build like a team, like
A
a
team.
big, huge team.
Okay. Team. That's an aspiration for a lot of us. that are in the business, right? To be your
Fame.
team.
Fame.
Fame.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that look like? What does that mean?
People know me as a realtor, they know, like, she's the to-go person, like, I'm popular in that community.
So you walk into a room, it's like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
You want your
Yeah.
face on the side of buses and.
Oh, no. A
No,
good
not
face.
that.
Not a paid face.
A good friend of mine used to do the shelter ads and the park benches and stuff and on the buses, but he did the bus shelters. And so it was his face, right? And so he would go and he would mark up it himself late at night. He would go and put like a mustache on it or a hat on, like he would deface his own thing. And we used to always see that, like, oh man, your stuff always gets defaced. He's like, Mike, I do it. I go, what? He does it himself because it draws people attention to him. I was like, oh, they defaced Mike Kennelly's picture. Like it was that's that interesting way to do things. Yeah. Yeah, you had a
Build trust in the market.
trust. Yeah. Sure. There's the magic three. Know you. I say like, I love you, not like, but most people say like. Know you, love you, trust you. When you have those three, the trifecta, you have a client for life. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Generational wealth and early retirement.
Love it. Retirement. I'm 55. If anybody wants to contribute to my retirement, they're more than welcome. And generational wealth. This is so, so cool. Generational wealth. Love it. I wish you the best. I'm good. It's amazing. When you don't have to worry about your bills every month, when you built that foundation, there's no better feeling in the world. Yes.
Rohit's kind of going on wanting to kind of reinvent himself and his career. You know, he spent 27 years as a corporate executive. He ran restaurants for 5 years. You know, he just wants something new.
Okay. So tell me more. What does that mean to you?
Well, I can do this. Rohit, I'm going to unmute you. Mike, can you turn up the volume on the screen? Tap it.
What? This thing?
The screen?
That?
No, on the center of the screen. Just tap it.
Yeah.
And then hit the 3 dots in the bottom of the screen.
Here?
And then crank up the volume.
Okay, Rohit, tell us what that means to you.
Yeah, it means a big deal. So I did 27 years of corporate life selling HR software and implementing that. Worked with 8 or 9 big brands from Walmart and Honeywell, big companies, Amex. And then also in 2019, just 3 months before COVID, I opened a restaurant in Queen Street downtown, ran it for 5 years. And having learned from my experience on the commercial side there, and also some of my own personal real estate experiences. So I decided to study for this and then eventually, hopefully make a name for myself in the real estate.
So hope is never a plan.
Yeah.
Don't ever rely upon hope. You just do
Okay.
it. You're going to see in today's class, I have this thing called the Just Do It plan. You make that commitment. You do not put a hope behind that because that gives us the out. That gives us like, oh, okay, I only hoped about that. I didn't fully commit to that, right? So transition this hope to I'm going to just do it. Does everybody know what the just do it is for? That's bad. That's really bad. That was a tagline for Nike back in the 80s. I used to be an athlete, and so we used to have the t-shirts, just do it, right? So thank you very much for sharing. Yes.
Thank you.
How do we get this back to?
Just tap again.
Tap again.
3 dots.
Because I'm sure Rohit doesn't want us to hear him when he's,
3 dots.
at home.
And just volume down.
Volume down. Okay.
It just makes it so there's no echo for everyone at home.
Got it. So some of the other things I would say, thinking about accomplish, you can also look at things like in your family life, or spiritual life, community life. Those are other things to think about as far as wanting to accomplish. Now, what changes can I make in my life to start accomplishing these things, to start making these changes of opening my mind, opening our mind to these new ideas that we're hearing today? What changes can you make right now?
Face fear.
Pardon?
Face your fears.
Face your fears. Sorry, I can't.
Face your fears.
Face your fears. Okay. I was hearing something else. as you get older, your senses start to decline. Just saying that for any of you. My hearing is one of them. I went to a lot of rock concerts as a kid, so I think that probably, yeah. So face your fears, you said, right? Face fears. And what's my 5 words again?
Do what you fear most.
Do what
Do
you
you-
fear.
Do what,
Do
what
what
you
you
fear,
fear
do
most.
what you fear most.
Yeah.
There's no the. Do what you fear most. Okay. And we also said fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Face everything and run. I say face everything and rise. Exactly. Can we do, anybody else have any suggestions? Yes?
I would say like really honor your calendar, like when you put things for work in your calendar,
Okay.
you can't let life, get in the way every day.
Oh, that's so amazing. Share with you my thoughts on it. So, you ever heard of this term called integrity? Does anybody know what the word integrity means? Yes?
To do what you'll say you'll do, and you said you'll do it.
Exactly. And I find that our realtors that I deal with have a high degree of integrity when they're dealing with their clients. Like I actually would give you an A, right? You get an honors A, some of you A pluses. But I'm going to give most of the realtors an F in integrity for themselves. You know what that means? Playing on your calendar, right? So in your calendar, I recommend you do personal first. What does that mean? Do you have kids? Are they in baseball? They're in hockey? Are they in ballet? Are they in jazz? Swimmers? I don't know. You have a wife? You have a husband? You have dogs, cats? Walk your dogs? Go to dinner with your spouse, your significant other? That's personal. You should book that stuff off first. And never drop your integrity for what you've picked yourself first. Because then you get an F from me. So, I've planned, now Matt knows the story, my wedding story. Do you want to share that wedding story? I'm getting married. I got married.
There's so many.
What happened on my wedding day when I had a destination wedding down in the Dominican Republic? On my wedding day, what did I do?
I can't remember.
I absolutely screwed that up.
No.
The personal thing. On my wedding day, I only just told my wife this, believe it or not, 2 weeks ago. This happened a decade ago. I took calls on my wedding day in the Dominican Republic as a manager, as a broker. Did I screw up my personal? Now my wife was getting, makeup done and all that, so she had no idea. I was like in my room with my brothers and friends and stuff, and my phone's ringing. I'm answering questions. My brothers are friends. I've told you that story, haven't I?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely.
Where I literally violated my sacred covenant with myself. Do not do that. And my wife only found out, like I said, I told her 2 weeks ago. I don't know how it came up, but it came up. Honor your calendar for yourself, your personal integrity. Okay. Now, a calendar surmises something else, which is, what's the name of our class today? Well, that's the course. What's today's class called? I think it's called something.
Foundations of business.
What's the last word there?
Planning.
Right. So really, it's about a plan. It's going to be a personal plan. It's going to be a professional plan, right? Could be a spiritual plan for you as well. I'll leave that up to you guys. But you're really working on 2 types of plans here, personal and professional. To me, never trade away your personal, because that's your whys. Why are you here? To support your kids, your family, yourself, your whatever it is. But if you deviate from the personal part, what are you doing the business for? Right? Like, I'm not saying not give all the attention and due to your clients, but that's got to be in a separate category and silo. Okay, that's your professional side. All right, next thing is just a quick little survey, and we're not even gonna. There we go. You can just write this down in your workbook. So on page 5, is it pre-printed already with the percentages now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you don't have to write that stuff down. And the challenges are there. Okay, this is a study that was done probably about 20 years ago now. And it was done by NAR. Does everybody know who NAR is? called the
National
National,
Association.
pardon me?
It's National Association.
Of Realtors. So this is the national body in the United States. It's the equivalent to Korea. We have Korea and Canada, Canadian Real Estate Association. Now, the size of NAR is 10 to 15 times the size of Korea, just because of the scale of the population there. So they did this study to analyze what it looked like as far as a day in the life of a successful realtor. Now, back then it was $100,000, if I recall, was what they determined to be a successful realtor, okay? They earned $100,000 20 years ago. That number's probably 250 is my guess, right? 200 to 250 is what you should be thinking about for this. So they looked at analyzing what these people were doing in their daily life as a professional realtor. So 15% of the successful realtors were doing assorted chores, paperwork, and follow-up. 8% in some form of social media, email. Now, social media 20 years ago is not like it is today. Like today, it's probably, that number is going to be higher, right? There. 35% engaged in some form of prospecting. The other thing I got to tell you, this was based upon 8 hours. Like a work day, okay? 8 hours. 20% engaged in appointment activities for listings and buyers, and 22% engaged in web searching activities, work and personal. So that's doing your, for work, that's doing your searches on Trev. Right now, today, it's so easy, right? Like, honest to goodness to God, what you guys have at your fingertips is kind of like the iPhone versus what it was in the space shuttle to land on the moon in 1969. Now, some people believe they didn't land on the moon. I don't know. Let's just say they went on the moon. The technology in the lander is less than the technology here. 20 years ago, the technology I had versus what you have today that's available at your fingertips is out of sight. In fact, the one thing that I love the most today is this thing called DocuSign or Authentisign you guys have. Like I had to drive to get a signature. You guys just, boom, then it's done. And I get your signature sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what you're doing at 2 o'clock in the morning, but, and I sign it the next morning. But anyways, if you look at this, what do you think the hybrid and hunter realtors are focused in on the most? What's the most productive things?
Prospecting.
These two. But you're right, the prospecting. So in an 8-hour day, that $250,000 producer today, 1/3 of their working day is committed to prospecting. That is proactive outbound contact with people. Remember I told you I wrote a thesis in real estate, performance predictors? Well, I went and looked at the research that had been done prior to my research. And I found a study by a professor at Notre Dame in the United States, big Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Everybody know that one? Like this, I'm half Irish. The logo's that's Irish. Okay. So it's a very popular school, big football program. A professor named J.M. Krant wrote a paper about realtors. And in his paper, he determined a whole bunch of variables, but probably the biggest one in his was being proactive. To him, in his paper, he determined proactive behavior was a high degree of correlation to a successful realtor. Has everybody got that? Being proactive. What's the reverse of proactive? What's the opposite of proactive? Procrastination. So when I wrote my paper, I had a whole section on being proactive. Because there's a flip side to that, I covered a whole section on being a procrastinator. Essentially, to me, the definition of procrastinator is somebody that delays doing what they know they have to do in hopes of doing it at a later date, which they never do. That's a procrastinator, right? They're living in the future. I'll do it, I'll get to it. In our business, there's no success when you're a procrastinator, okay? So you want to be, you got 55% of your working day, right? Is that right? Yeah, 55%, which in 8 hours is going to be, let's just round it up and say 5 hours of your working day. If you want to be the 250,000 top producer, is in those two functions. Yes, you can go and have conversations at the water cooler, have a coffee, have fun. But essentially, if you're not focusing half of your day, better than half of your day in actually proactive activities, you'll never reach that summit, that plateau, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? No questions. Good. It's a good class. Or I'm a good teacher. I don't know. One or the other. All right, next one here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm just 2 months in the license. I just wanted to check, like, I get opportunities when I'll get to meet buyers or any of the prospective client who is interested in buying. But I feel like I don't have enough content to talk about because it's 2 months. And I read all of your urbanation reports, everything. But I feel that I might not be, giving them what they're actually looking for. There is something missing. I don't think I feel comfortable myself talking about it.
Okay, this is a very bad drawer I am. This is supposed to be an elephant.
Oh.
Okay,
I see the vision.
okay. I'm very bad drawer. It looks like a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So if I was to say to you, now the elephant represents the real estate industry, the knowledge of the real estate industry, okay? The knowledge.
Yeah.
If I was to tell you or ask you, how do you get all the knowledge in real estate?
Experience, I think it's more of experience reading
Okay, and how do you get that experience in reading?
by doing it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you, that's an elephant. How do you eat that elephant? You wanted to eat the elephant, it's a big, big animal.
Bits by bits.
Yeah. Piece by piece, bite by bite. So you want to know all you can in real estate. You want to be me, 33 years. Can you be me right now in 2 months? No. So what do you want to do? Put it down to bite-sized morsels. Every day, commit to learning something new or 2 things new. Don't try to actually finish the race when you're still in the starting block. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it starts slow, bring the stuff in, and as you're having conversations with people, if you're finding common conversations you're having, right? They want to know, is the market going up? Is the market going down? I bet you that's probably a common conversation right now.
Yeah.
Are they asking you, is the interest rates going to go up? Are they going to go down?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are 2 things that you can focus on to become an expert in right now, as opposed to everything else you're trying to do at the same time. Eat the elephant 1 bite at a time. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into another mindset work here. So I did this in my thesis, and I'm working on actually one day putting a book together with the results of this actual certain one. It's not going forward there, Manny. There we go. Okay. So assessing an ideal realtor against yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So there's a thing called a Likert scale, which is usually a scale of 1 to 5. I like to do the 1 to 10 because you get more diversity in the response. Now, it's in your workbook as well. What page are we on there for that? Bottom of 5. Okay. So in your workbook, they're green here and they're red in your book, the top 3. They're purposely highlighted the first 3 because I believe these are the most important of the 10 to assess successful realtors, right? The ideal successful realtor yourself and who you think, right? In your mind's eye. You think of who you think is successful. It could be a realtor in our company. It could be somebody that you have seen from another company, but there's somebody in your mind that's who I want to be. I want to be that realtor. That's the ideal realtor for you. Now you're going to compare and assess yourself on these topics. So the first one, which is the most important one, lead generation and prospecting. It's the proactive activities. So now you're thinking about the top realtor, the ideal realtor. What do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 that realtor is scoring? Are they at 8? Are they at 10? This is you, right? Now, I want you guys to give me your answers at the end. You do not have to give me your names, so nobody's names get disclosed. But I want to get some aggregating all these. I've got probably about 400 or 500. Matt's got probably another couple hundred. He's got his. So I got about 700 names, not names, results. I want to get to 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, it's statistically relevant, right? So when they do surveys, you know, for politics and stuff, they're usually interviewing 1,000 people. That gives you a standard deviation of 3.1, meaning it's very relevant and accurate data. So I'm pretty close to getting there. So at the end, if you want to send to me or Matt, and you don't have to put your name on it, your results for this survey, because I'm aggregating it all. It's all going to be part of a program. Okay, so ideal, what's the number? What's your number? Are you a 10? Are you a 5? Are you a 3? Now, nobody's winning. We're not looking at your results because we don't know what your results, who you are with what we're going to get. But be honest, have integrity, and identify your blind spots and your weaknesses, right? Because if you can identify the weaknesses in your business, then you can start to formulate a response to that and a solution for that. Make sense? So what do you see yourself versus your ideal? Question number 2, booking an appointment. Remember I told you I'd share with you my $1 million dial-up? No? Yes? Remember that? Oh, I'm not going to share it with you.
What?
I call it the $1 million dial-up. How you book appointments. Anybody want to volunteer? Say I'm somebody you want to book an appointment with. I'm a seller. Anybody want to volunteer trying to book me as a seller for an appointment? Anyone want to try to do that? All right, I'm going to teach you a very simple dialogue that comes from Floyd Wickman, where you should be able to book 80+% of any appointments you want to book. You guys want to learn that? Or should we just go to the next one? No, you do. Okay, so this is the $1 million dialogue. If I could, would you? So, if I could, dot, 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 which means there's going to be some more language. Would you? Dot, dot, dot. This is called a sharp angle close. These 5 words. If I could, would you? And we're going to fill in the blanks. By the way, you can use this with your children if you have children. You can use this with your spouse if you're looking to get something, right? It's very magical words. Now, if you're going to use it on your spouse, don't tell them your secrets here. Use your kids, don't do that either. Now, your kids, if you're like my kids, they're the best salespeople out there. They want something, they're going to get it, whether they get it today or 6 months from now. They're going to be on you until they get that. Would you agree with that if you have kids? Yeah. Okay. Be like your kids with your clients. Okay, so we're going to share with you, I'm going to share with you how this is now applied to booking an appointment. Matt, if I could show you how I could sell your house for the most amount of money in the least amount of time, would you be interested in meeting with me? Sure. Absolutely. Do you think you can book closings on that? Let's do it again. Matt, if I could show you how I could sell your house for the most amount of money in the least amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more?
I need to check with my wife first.
Great. We all have to check with our wife. Why don't I pencil you in tonight for 7 o'clock? And if we have to change that, call me back.
Sounds good.
Okay. So he threw an objection in there. We did not role play this, by the way. We just do this organically, right? But you got to be ready for that. He threw the wife objection my way, and I had to be able to pivot. You always have to be able to pivot. So if I could, Matt, I didn't want to say his name, Matt, if I could show you how I could sell your house in the least amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more? Now, sell your house for the most amount of money, least amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more? It's just us in the real estate world. Use these for any other scenario you can think of. It's really cool, right? You want to get your kids to do homework. Figure out if I could, would you? For your kids to do their homework. If I could reward you with a vacation to Florida, would you do your homework? Yeah, great. Let's do our homework. And we're going to go to Florida next year. Whatever. That's for real estate. Now, there's part 2 to that. That's the sharp part. You threw an objection, so I did the pencil in close. I used the pencil because what can you do with a pencil? Erase. You can erase it, right? And it's pen, but a pencil I can erase it. So I came back to you with the pencil close. By the way, when you get into being a performer in real estate, knowing your dialogues, you're essentially accessing all kinds of dialogues that you've memorized and internalized to become natural. Did it seem natural what I did with him? Yep. I haven't sold real estate in 18 years. If I was talking to you, you think I would have booked an appointment? If I was actually literally calling you,
Yeah.
would I have booked? Right. Because psychologically, the way I asked that question, I asked it, would you be interested in hearing more? If they say no, right? They're saying no, that they don't want to find out about how they could sell their house for more amount of money in this amount of time. You can make all kinds of dialogues you want out of that. I just use that one as the most topical one, right? But throw the objection, I did the pencil. So if there's no objection, I now get a close for a time, right? So I've said that, I've got you to say yes. And when you do dialogues, you're looking for a yes. Would you agree? What'd you just do? You all nodded, right? I just got you to say yes. Would you agree? Is also a close. Does that make sense? Oh, I just got you to nod your head again. Would you agree? Does that make sense? Are two other closes you guys should be looped? Write this stuff down. I know I'm pretty and I'm handsome, but you might forget what I'm saying. I'm dialoguing you guys now, okay? So the part now to commit to the appointment, Matt, if I could show, Matt, if I could show you how I could sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more?
Sure.
Okay, great, John. When would be a good time? Would tonight at 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock work better? Now I'm using what's called the alternative choice of close. Sharp angle, if I could, would you? Alternative choice. When would be a good time? You get to pick. People like to pick. So when would be a good time, Matt? Would tonight at 7 or tomorrow at 5? Don't do the objection again. You already did that one. Agree to one.
Tonight at 7 work best after dinner.
7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me pencil you in and I'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock. Now I booked an appointment. That's where somebody's not objecting to me, which you will find using that dialogue, about 80% of people will not object to you. Some will throw in a curveball. And usually the curveball is the spouse. I got to check with my spouse. Hey, Matt, no problem. I have to do that too. Why don't I pencil you in tonight at 7 o'clock? If you need to change, give me a call. I booked you. You're not going to call me. Yes, maybe 5% will, but the vast majority are not going to. I've now booked an appointment, which if we go back to number 2, this is in my system. These are the top 3 things you guys need to be doing. Now, assess yourself versus the ideal realtor. Now, if you want to use me as the ideal realtor, go ahead. How well did I just do booking an appointment versus how well you do booking an appointment? And give yourself a number. Be honest with yourself. There's no points, there's no rewards for you. Putting 10 for yourself if you feel that you're 6 or 7, right? Make sense? You're all not. All right, next one. Signing the contract. That's the listing agreement, and that's the buyer representation agreement. How good are you now at, you booked the appointment, you got it, you prospected the lead, now you booked the appointment, now you're at their house, list it, or you're signing them up with as a buyer. By the way, with the buyer stuff, here's another $1 million technique that I'm going to teach you. It's called the CETO technique. Has anybody ever heard of that? And Zam, you can't say it because I've taught you this. Does anybody know what CETO stands for? I've learned this during the time that the Blue Jays had won their World Series back in the 90s. By the way, congratulations to Toronto Blue Jays. We're now tied 2-2. Cito Gaston was the head coach of the Toronto Blue Jays when they won their 2 World Series. Has nothing to do with Cito Gaston, but when I learn this technique, I always think of Cito Gaston when I teach it. It's an acronym. Stands for, and this is for all buyers, only buyers.
Oh, Claude got it.
Come into the office. Come into the office. If you're prospecting with buyers and you're working with buyers, you want to get them into your office for your appointment, right? Because we don't know who they are oftentimes with buyers, right? They might have called you on a sign. They might have saw a Facebook ad, right? If they are a referral, great. We want referrals. But if they're a stranger, why are you going to go meet them at their apartment? Do you know them? Or their house or whatever, wherever they're living? Bring them into the office. It shows a couple of things. It shows their interest and commitment to actually wanting to purchase something. It shows that they respect you as a professional by coming into your office. And as women, use that. It's for safety and security. Trust me, there's a lot of bad things that happen out there. There's no commission worth your safety and security. End of story. Come into the office. If they're not willing to do that and respect you for that, next. Right? They're at the deli counter and sorry, I don't have the mortadella today. Next. Move on, right? Because you want them to respect who you are. So you see to them, come into the office. Again, you know, if it's a buyer, if I could show you, Matt, how I could find you your dream home or your dream condo for the least amount of money in the fastest amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more about that? Okay, just change the words. If I could, would you? You figure out the words, okay? Then the next, they're all important here, but they're not as important as the others. So again, assess yourself on that scale. Developing a plan for a client. Again, we don't want the client to be a commodity. You don't want to be a commodity, okay? So individually developing and structuring a plan for that client. You had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So I have a question regarding the buyer. When you say ask them to come into the office, when the Facebook, like people come to the Facebook ad or something, and they says that please send me the listing and I check it out and then we'll discuss about it. Like,
And how often do they call you and discuss about it?
like because it's just the first time and they just show the requirement. They are just not interested to just, they are looking around actually and they say, send me the listing, we'll look into that and then we will discuss
And
further.
how many discuss it with you? Same question.
Once or twice.
Out of how many?
Call.
Very low.
Yeah.
It's a very low response rate. Listen, this hasn't changed today versus 20 years ago, 30 years ago. People that reach out and make inquiries, unless you take control, which is my number 5, you take control as a professional. Guess what? They're Facebooking a whole bunch of other realtors. They're Instagramming a whole bunch of realtors. They're calling a whole bunch. You're not special. Hate to say it. I'm not special at all. I'm one of 75,000 realtors. Take control, right? So if you want to give them that information, fine. But bear in mind, the reality is you're not really, you're at a 2 to 5% likelihood of actually getting them to come into the office. So what I suggest and propose is you break that psychological mindset that they have, that you're a commodity, you're like every other realtor, and go with a system like this. They're not expecting you to say something like that because not every realtor knows to do that, right? It's opening your mind again. Play with it. You know, the vast majority of people calling you or texting you through Facebook or whatever, they're going nowhere. Would you agree? Like it's a lead, yes, but is it a really hot, bona fide lead? No. It isn't. So take control of that right away from the earliest point. Oh, great. You want me to send you some information? What if I could meet with you and show you how I can find your dream property? What was that again? It's a condo. Would you be interested in hearing more about that? No, I'm not interested in hearing more about it. You just got your answer that they're talking to 10, 15, 20 other realtors. Why are you going to send them anything? Why are you going to spend one more minute with them? It's filtering them out. That's the qualifying too, right? What's number 6 say?
I have one question on this. Like, I also did the same what Jay is talking about.
Sure.
Wherein I
Oh, by the way,
listed.
so did I. So did I.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody that started in real estate and became an award winner in my first, second, or third year. I struggled too.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. All I'm trying to impress upon you, learn from my mistakes. Going and showing somebody 50 properties and then going buying with somebody else. That's painful. That's all I'm trying to share with you. Go ahead.
Just want to ask you this question. Like, because there's so many options available for people to talk and to go for a showing, and immediately people want to go for showings, even if they have low interest of buying, they want to go and see the property, and if they like the property, then they move, or they want to move on with that particular realtor. So, do you think that is it okay that, first, instead of calling to the office, we once show them a couple of properties and they have it, they get that feeling how we are, serving, helping them. And then we say, now we have showed the properties and let's come to the office, discuss in detail so that, they would, there would be higher chances than they coming and discussing.
That's role play. Matt's the buyer. Matt, call, what's your name?
Shelley.
Shelley. Matt, call Shelley and you want Shelley to go and show you a property. Cool.
There's this amazing condo that we're looking at. We want to kind of downsize from our family home. In the Kenneth buildings. Could you take me to go see it?
Now you want me to call him to the office, or?
You're the agent. Now you tell me how you're gonna deal with that.
How would you now?
I just taught you CETO, so you've just learned that, so I know you're not gonna do that. So do what you would normally do.
Okay.
What's your
So
habit?
I would say, okay, that's great, have you seen that property before?
I've just looked at pictures online, but I can't see very much.
Wonderful. And if you don't mind, may I ask you, are you working with any other realtor right now?
No, I'm not.
You're not working, okay. And if in case, just want to, just curious to know that, what are your plans? Are you looking to buy within 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months?
We don't really have a timeline, but we just do need to downsize from the family home. All the kids have left and we're, 2 people in a big home, so.
Okay, okay. And what got your attention to this property, if you're okay
So
to share?
can I interrupt? Just get her to take you. Forget about all of it. Right? So
I'm
your
not
questions are,
ready.
I'm not, your questions are great, by the way. I just want you to go push for her to take you.
Okay, we're super urgent. That has to happen within a month. Let's go see the property.
Okay, so I can show you the property, but would you be okay after that, I discuss, because I don't know whether you have not seen the property. So let's go and check that property out, and then after that I can, we can visit our office so that we can discuss in detail.
Sure. It's not bad. You're gonna run out, right? Yeah. Okay. Can I now tell you who Matt really is?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt. It's a serial killer. You gotta think that way. There are people that have been murdered in our business right here in Mississauga and Peel Region that have done that. So if you're willing to put your life at risk, you go do that. But do you really know who he was? No, that's why I do CETO. Come into the office, prove to me who you are. If you don't have that ability to do that, to respect you as a professional, come on.
But then,
There's no but.
Rental actually.
There's no but.
no, I want to ask you, even if the person who comes to the office,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand, yeah.
If you find out he's a serial killer, when you come to the
How
office,
I'm gonna, yeah.
well, you're gonna say a great meeting you, Matt. Privileged to see you, Mr. Psycho Killer. What's that? He's not going to come to your office. Like that's a legit. But let's say he has the I was going to use a colorful word. But he has the guts to come out here to meet with you. He's going to see all of our cameras, and he's going to see that he's been witnessed by a whole bunch of other people, our staff, other realtors. He's probably not going to want to work with you. He's going to waste your time. Listen, I've unfortunately, as a manager, had realtors that have been killed that had worked for me. Okay, I had one about 7 years ago out of this office.
I'm scared now.
But you should be.
And you should be.
I'm scared enough not to
There's-
go on
there's
showing.
Safety and security is very important.
To
Okay,
kill, like actually kill.
murder, yes.
No, but in that case, I have a question here. So in that case, rental generally, if someone is looking for a rental property, and if you ask someone, hey, can you meet me in the office? There are a bunch of realtors. Why they wanted to come? Because they just don't want to waste their time.
So you're a commodity, right?
Actually, if we need, Like your monthly.
So you guys are
expenses-
talking yourself out of what I'm trying to teach you, which is fine. This is your business. I'm not telling you how to run it. I'm going to tell you how to run it and show you how to run it efficiently because I made all the mistakes that you're talking about. And you're trying to rationalize and sell me on why you're going to go do that. I've already done it. Trust me. What you could do wrong in this business, I've done it. I've gotten lost on showings. We didn't have Waze back in 30 years ago. I went and showed farms up in Melanchthon. I don't know if you know where Melanchthon is. It's north of Shelburne. I got lost with clients in my car. You know how embarrassing that is?
Isn't that Curly's?
Well, we had Curly's. Actually, that story, I did everything wrong on that one. I got out of my vehicle. I met them up in Orangeville, got out of my vehicle. They wanted to drive, have me in their vehicle.
Oh, no.
And so I did. I'm stupid. I got in their car. Now, I'm a bit of an athlete. I studied martial arts, so I'm not afraid of anything. But literally, I can't outrun a gun, can I? Right? So something could have happened. Nothing happened. I got in their car. I had drawn up through Pearlie's or map art, I think it was actually. I knew where I had to go. When you go in the country, you know, there's lines and concessions. I don't know if you've ever been up there.
Yes.
We have streets and roads and whatever, circles. Up there, it's a totally different animal. I got lost. I got to the first one, so I'd memorized it, but I was going to be driving and I knew left, right, left, right. We came out of the first property. They went the wrong way. I said, oh, we got to turn around. They're like, oh, no, we'll just do this. And so they made a couple other left and rights. I'm totally disoriented. I got out of my car, into their car, big mistake, never do that. And I got lost. Yeah. I've had lots of bad experiences. Just learn from them. Doing the CTO thing is you are, as I said right here, qualifying people. How interested are they in buying, selling, renting, referring real estate? That's all I'm doing is identifying on a scale of 1 to 10, their interest in working with me and my interest, by the way, in working with them. Right? We have this inclination to go run out and service people. I get that. Oh, there's a commission to be earned. These people are fishing with not just you, but with the whole armada of fishing ships called real estate agents. You want to continue to do that? That's your business. Not how I ran mine. I figured it out, right? I'm just trying to help you to figure it out sooner than I did. It took me years, right? I had the worst experience on Canada Day long weekend in 1995. Family Cottage, we're up there on the Canada long weekend. Guy I've been working with, showing 30, 40, 50 properties, because that's what it took back, 30 years ago. Property came on the market. He calls me. I got to see the property. This called me on a Saturday. I want to see it tomorrow. Well, I was up for the long weekend with my family, an extended family. I made a decision. I'll come down and show the property. This is before buyer agency days, by the way. We're all covered by buyer agency if we have one. I drove down, showed the guy the property. It's a 4.5-hour drive, so I had to get up at like 5 o'clock, showed the property at 12. He loved it. Back in my mind, I'm thinking, well, at least I'm gonna get a deal here, right? He goes, I want to think about it for an hour or two. I'll get back to you. I'm gonna go to Tim's, just think about it. So he doesn't get back to me. What's going on? So I call him. I gave him the hour and a half. I call him at 2, and he goes, Mike, you congratulate me. Well, what? You made the decision? We're gonna put an offer? No. I called the listing agent, and I just bought the house. Great. So I ruined a weekend. I was unprotected because I didn't have any kind of commitment with them. We did not have buyer agency agreement. I created my own, by the way, at that time. Thankfully, the industry caught up in 1998. We have those things in place. But that was a turning point for me. Who am I really dealing with? I thought this guy was committed to me, loyal to me. Turned out he wasn't. He drew me down 4.5 hours, took me away from my family. I'll never get that back. Showed the property. And by the way, I showed him 30 or 40 others. And what does he do? Calls the listing agent. He could have done that. But no, he called me down. There's a certain place in hell for people like that.
Very similar story.
Pardon me?
Very-
I changed my whole career based upon that experience. I'm sharing that with you so you don't make the same mistake. Today, you don't have to make the same mistake. What's the buyer agency form? Is it form 200?
BRA,
Yeah.
the new one that we're using, 270, 274.
Oh, it's two, that's right, because we have
Designated, right?
designated, yes, pardon me. We use Form 274. Do not go work with the buyer, we'll talk about that next week in the buyer course, without having one of those things. Otherwise, you're an unprotected realtor. There's lots of STDs out there in the real estate world. Don't go unprotected. Okay, so what did we leave off?
CETO.
What was that number?
We were in between
Okay,
like
we're gonna
5 and
go real
6.
fast. Is what we are.
Sign the contract.
Contract. How good are you at, yeah, we did the sign contract. Developing a plan for the client, a specific plan, individualized plan for a client. Ideal realtor you, taking control. Oh, taking control. Would you agree some of what we just did here was me taking control of the situation? How good are you at doing that? Ability to qualify. Would you agree that there's a bit of what we just did here with CETO to get people to qualify? My first sense in what the ability for me to qualify you is, and your sense of commitment is, are you going to come in to see me as a buyer, right? Ability to persuade. How good am I? How good is the ideal realtor in persuading you to make a decision? Now, persuasion, there's a good, bad, right? A good persuasion is somebody that has your best interest in mind. We have this thing called fiduciary responsibility. That means the client takes precedence over our fee, right? So we can't make a decision or persuade a client so that we can go get paid, right? It's got to be the best thing for them. On the bad side, has anybody ever seen that movie, The Wolf of Wall Street? You've seen that movie, right? Leonardo DiCaprio plays a guy named Jordan Belfort. He was a stockbroker fraudster, but he had some of the best techniques and dialogues on persuasion, but selling bad stocks, fake stocks. So both are persuading. One's for nefarious reasons, and one's for a positive. How good are you at persuading in a good way, not the nefarious way? Okay. Number 8, effectively negotiate terms, price, and closing. Now we're going to have a whole class on negotiation here, right? So we're going to do a case study, we're going to do role playing, but how good are you at negotiating? And who are you negotiating with? A lot of times you're negotiating with yourself, your own brain, those 60,000 thoughts you have every day. 5,000 of them are non-routine. When you're doing a deal, you're getting flooded with all kinds of non-routine thoughts. But how good are you able to negotiate? Short-term client service. How good are you? What does short-term mean? I have Matt right now as my buyer, he's my seller, whatever. How good am I at providing a service right now to Matt? And I'll just give you my impression. Most of you should score 9 or 10. My experience with realtors, you're very good in the short-term experience with a client, okay? And so is the ideal. But here's where it gets tricky. Medium and long-term. The medium is that they've already closed on the transaction, whether you've sold their house or whether they bought the house. It's 6 months after the closing. What's your relationship like with Matt? Have you stayed in touch with Matt? Have you reached out to Matt? Have you connected with Matt? Remember we talked about, are you going to call one person a day, 5 a day, or 10 a day? Have you put Matt, who was your client, who knew you, loved you, and trusted you enough to do business with you, have you ghosted Matt? Have you forgotten about Matt? And when Matt just sold his $2 million property with me, and I was all over Matt, I smothered him with like my love and kindness. Would you agree you all do that too? At the moment of doing it? And all of a sudden I got what I needed. He hasn't heard from me, he hasn't seen from me. What does Matt feel like? Remember we went back with the experience part? I asked you that. How does Matt feel about Mike Kennelly now that did the big $2 million deal for him? And in the last 6 months, I haven't even heard from him. He had no love, right? He's going to think I'm indifferent to him. Write that word down. Indifferent. Which means I don't care. I think it's Zig Ziglar said, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. You ever heard that saying? People don't care what you know until they know that you care. If I haven't talked to Matt in 6 months, a year after doing business with him, he's experiencing, I don't care. So this is where we drop the ball in the medium to long term. Long term is, 5 years, right? So maybe I cozied up to Matt for the first 6 months or a year, and then I forgot about him year 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how good are you at providing customer client service and staying in touch? What I developed and what I learned over time is when I felt down, it was running our business, I get it. I walked in your shoes, I have a lot of empathy for you. So I struggled. And like I said, I was not a successful realtor right out of the gate. I struggled. What I learned when I had a tough day, struggled, hard day, dealt with Matt the serial killer, I would pick up the phone and call a past client to make myself feel good. Because that's the person that knew me, liked me, loved me, and trusted me. Just to remind myself, I'm a good person. I do good work for some people, not everybody, right? You're going to have a very select audience of who you represent. And that's what we're going to cover next. Yeah, kind of next, right? Give yourself a scale, total, ideal, and you, and please send it to Matt. You don't have to put your names to it because Matt's not going to share my name. I just want the data. The data is important to me, okay? And at home, do the same thing if you could. We're very close to getting my 1,000 names, which gets me to where I need to be statistically.
Is Matt at Rollpage Signature?
Yes. Yeah, I also have the Matt at rollpage.ca too. I've got like 4 of them. So whichever one you get, it'll get to me.
Okay, so next one, what is your job? So this should be on top of page 6. So there's some fill in the blanks for you. So I developed this course of interactive. You guys can actually write stuff down instead of falling asleep. Sometimes I know it's boring to be in class all day. So the job of real estate is every day you wake up unemployed. Would you agree? We wake up unemployed. Why? Because our job is to go find prospects, leads, right? So the job, therefore, is to generate leads. That's your job. You want to define what your job is. Yes, it's to be a good negotiator. Yes, it's to provide good customer service. Yes, it's to be able to do the best reels, marketing. Like those are all skills. That's not your actual job. You understand the difference? Okay. Consider what a mining company is. And I'm glad that we started, somebody said gold, because I use gold as my example for the commodity. Consider what a mining company needs to do to find gold or diamonds. I do trade stocks. I trade one of my favorite in and outs is Barrick Gold. I'm not touching it now because it's gone to the stratosphere and I'm a little worried that it's going to probably come down. It's reality. But a mining company, they have to excavate, which means dig. They have to dig through a lot of rock before they hit what they call pay dirt. Those are familiar terms, hopefully, for people, right? So an ounce of gold right now is trading well over $4,000 US. Last year was around $1,400 or $1,500. So it's like almost triple, which is an indication that the world is under a lot of stress right now and a lot of anxiety about what's happening in economies across the world because gold is a safe haven. Gold is a rare commodity, okay? So the mining company has to go through a lot of rock, a lot of dirt, dig deep down into the ground to find that gold. It's not just sitting like a rock sits, like if there's an ounce of gold. Wow, it's great. There's no value in that. Why? It's way down. It's hard to get. It's rare. So a mining company digs through a lot of dirt. A realtor does the same thing. Those people you're getting through your Facebook or whatever. And I know I'm probably being a little bit mean, calling them dirt, right? But they're not the gold. Out of 100, maybe there's 5 pieces of gold out of the 100. If you waste your time on the 95 that are not your gold, you're losing the opportunities with the 5 that are. Does that make sense, everybody? So the quicker you get through the dirt, like the excavating company, the quicker you get to hitting pay dirt, which is the gold or the diamonds. Okay? Simple as that. Right, Matt? Matt's heard me talk like this for 10 years. He can probably do the course now, I think, right? Pretty close?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Minus some of the stories.
Oh, right.
Can't remember all those.
Yes. Okay, systems are critical. So I'm going to use the system of McDonald's again. I chatted about that a little bit before. There's a great movie, by the way, if you ever want to watch it, Michael Keaton. Everyone know Michael Keaton? He played Beetlejuice. He played Batman. He played that. Matt's a big Batman fan. But he also played a guy named Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc was the guy that franchised McDonald's business model. He essentially stole the McDonald's system from the two brothers called McDonald's. That was their last name. Did everybody know that there was two brothers that started McDonald's back in the 50s? No, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
someone
So
talked
in the
about
movie,
story,
yeah, in the movie The Founder, it goes over that story. It's a really good business movie. And so what he did, he saw this amazing business that was being run down in California. These two brothers had a burger stand. And back in the 50s, they used to have those drive-in diners, right? So you drive your car in, but it would take 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get your food. But these McDonald brother guys created this system called the Speedy system, where they could get you your burger in a minute or two. And so they could process a lot of people through, right? Do a lot of business. This guy sees that and then develops this kind of like nefarious plan to steal the company. He does. He becomes the actual founder of the system of franchising for McDonald's. He steals it. Great story in itself. It's terrible, but it's a great story to see that. But what the McDonald's brothers created was a system and how to create that burger. You need to create a system yourself for real estate. And each and every one of you, it could be unique, right? Or it could be the same. And so you got to figure out a system for how you can do your lead generation. That NAR survey said 55% of your day should be in proactive behaviors, right? So what is your system? For qualifying, that's the CTO, remember? Showing property. Well, that's not running out and showing Matt, who happened to be a serial killer, a property. And maintaining contract, that's the contact, that's your short-term, mid-term, and long-term. So what I would say here is, what are the benefits? Well, I've got efficiency, consistency, compliance, and differentiation. If you put a system in place, please do that. I take care of a lot of regulatory things. And when a problem happens, we get a complaint from RICO, or there's professional standards complaint, or there's a lawsuit, like those are called notice of claims, right? So we get a claim, a client or a past client or somebody else's client actually sues us in court. We're going to have to actually defend ourselves. And so the court systems like to see what's Mike's system of doing things. Like, can you show me, Mike, how you deal with buyers in a buyer agency situation? How do you explain the buyer agency contract? Well, I have a system for that. Here it is. And if you want to verify that, you can call these 5 clients that I sold houses to, and they'll tell you exactly, I did all this. I did exactly the same way. Let's go back to McDonald's. Not advocating their food. I'm not, saying it's good, bad, or ugly, but they cook the hamburgers and the French fries the same way here in Toronto as they do in Calgary, or in Chicago, or in Miami. I've been in Ireland. The burgers taste different, actually, because I think it's better. But they make it the same way. Why? McDonald's has a manual. That's their system. How to cook a burger, how to cook a fry. What's your manual? What is your manual going to look like? And think from a worst case scenario. You're going to get sued by a buyer. Use a buyer for your system, because you're going to need one for sellers and for buyers. A buyer accuses you, Mike, you did not explain the buyer agency agreement to me. You just had me sign this. I didn't understand that I was signing an exclusive buyer agency agreement with you. I didn't understand the terms, that it was for 3 months or 6 months. I didn't understand that there was a fee of 2.5% that I could be liable for, because you didn't explain those things to me. You probably did. But when they want to sue you, you've now become their enemy. They'll make things up. They'll lie. It happens all the time. But if you can show you have a system that every buyer you deal with, you start with the CETO. And in the CETO, next week I'll teach you what you're going to do in the CETO when you meet with a buyer, right? All the steps that you're going to want to do. And you do that every time. because that's your system. Why would I have changed the way I treated Matt today, but the last 10, 100, I've done it this way? And by the way, if you want to call those people to verify that, feel free to do that. Does that make sense? Okay. That's the systems part. Sphere of influence. Now, one of the things that I always find amazing is that we as realtors do not have CRM systems. Everybody know what CRM stands for?
Customer
relationship management.
Correct. Customer relationship management, CRM. Matt, what's the great one we have at Royal LePage?
Sphere.
Sphere. Matt, you teach that sometimes, don't you? And so does Najee. So we have a free one that we get by being part of the Royal LePage network in Canada. It's called the Royal LePage Sphere. Now, there is a learning curve to it, I understand, right? So it's not like, hey, I can just walk in here and learn everything. Like I would be, you know, a mental midget basically trying to learn that myself. But listen, it's free, right? There's no cost to that. Learn it. Have our systems, our staff teach you how to learn and figure that out. But you need to have some type of system, a CRM system backing what you're doing for your business. Otherwise, you're going to be every day feeling lost. You're going to have maybe a piece of paper here, a piece of paper there, or a note on your computer, or a note on your phone. Put it in one source. If you put it in one source, and like I said, I find it amazing how many realtors do not use a CRM. To me, I would have the most amount of anxiety. I would need like a hard dose course of some serotonin thing to calm me down, because I would have everything everywhere. I want it all in one place, easy access. And Sphere, does it work on your phone?
It has a phone app, yes.
It has a phone app. Even better. Like, cool. Again, I used a program called Top Producer when I was selling real estate, and Act. These things were, you know, Top Producer specifically to realtors. Act was more of a generic business thing. Man, it was bulky to use. It was like, but I used it because I needed to McDonaldize my business. So, first thing we need to do, if you haven't done this already, to create your CRM platform, you got to create a list of people you know. Who's done that yet? Perfect. Gold star. Everybody needs to create a list. And what are we going to do? We're going to look to our family. We may not want to work with family. I chose not to work with family. I've told that story. My brother. I have it from.
I have another similar story.
What's that?
I said I have another similar story.
Yeah. I actually got into a car accident while I was going to show my brother one property. I got rear-ended by a truck. And my brother, about a month later, when I was on a family vacation, he went and bought with another realtor, my own brother. And I got in an accident with my brother, going to service him. I chose not to work with family after that. Sorry, not going to do that. I'll refer you to somebody. Much better. So create a list. Family, friends. Do you play sports? Do you go to the gym? Do you go to a religious place? Do you like knitting? Are you a runner? Are you a bicycle? Tell me what it is that you like to do. Where are you natural? Put those people you know on that list. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with approaching somebody that you go to the gym with and you're on the treadmill every day and you see them and having a conversation about life, right? Don't have the conversation like, hey, Matt, I'm a real estate agent. Want to buy some real estate? Bad way to have a conversation. Would you agree? Do you want somebody to approach you like that? Yeah.
One thing that I always do is I always acknowledge them first. Like my yoga teacher, I'm like, I'm so grateful for this class and the way you lead. And I give her a huge acknowledgement. And then I hand my card and I said, if I can ever help you, this is me.
Yeah.
So they feel like I'm doing them a favor.
This is the magic of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, which was written in the 20s. It's about that, not you.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's about you, you're a narcissist. Okay? If it's about them, you're an altruist. Right? And so the conversation, Matt's beside me, hey, man, I see you here all the time. Like, obviously you like the place as much as I do. What do you do for a living? Oh, cool. You're a lawyer. What's that look like? I'm asking him, and he's sharing with me his experience. And if Matt's the worst, he's a malignant narcissist. Okay. there's a term for that too. He's actually, even as a malignant arson, he's gonna give me an opportunity, he's gonna open the door, and Mike, what do you do? Now, you might only give me 30 seconds opening. You should have your elevator pitch ready. What do you actually do? And at the end of the class, we're gonna give you some words, some fear words that we're no longer gonna use. We're gonna replace them with good words that you can use in an actual 30-second elevator pitch of what you do. You figure that out. Use the words how you want them. And next week, some of you might want to volunteer to tell me what your little elevator pitch is. And you might get a book, right? Incentive, right? Carrot, not stick. So, yes, it's all about them. Be altruistic. Want to know about him. They'll open the door. You go through the door with your prepared little 30-second, 1-minute opening. All right. Number 2, divide the list into appropriate groups. This in our business, this A+, A, B, C, and D has been made famous by a trainer called Brian Buffini, which I absolutely love Brian. I was one of the first people to teach Brian's course in Canada back in 2007, called 100 Days to Greatness. Brian got this from corporate America back in the 80s. And I know that because in my father's company, he worked for a big blue chip company, they decided in the 80s to segmentate their clients into these types of categories. And essentially what that means is an A+ client is your walking, talking billboard of a client. It's a neon sign. Mike Kennelly is my realtor. That's what an A+ client in your list of relationships is. Notice how I always call it list of relationships. Relationships. I hate using the word database. Have you heard the word database? Database. I think that sanitizes and sterilizes who they are. They're not human beings when they're in a database. But if you have a list of relationships, much more personal. So A+, walking, talking, neon billboard for you. These are people that will always use you in real estate, and they will always refer you in real estate. And let me share with you, it's not quantity with these people, it's quality. So in my list of relationships, or if you want to call it database, I had between 15 and 20 A+ clients. That's it. That's it. I knew from a mathematical point of view, because the post office in the United States did a survey on this, that out of these types of people, they would refer between 2 and 3 people to your service every year. Refer. That doesn't mean I'm doing a deal for them. It's a referral. I have 15 people that are A+, and I get 2 of them. How many leads is that? I'm doing simple math here. If they gave me 3 and it was 15, it's 45. Again, doesn't mean they're going to buy. I'm going to buy and sell 35 homes or 40 homes or whatever. Those are opportunities to have conversations, to prepare an individual plan for them. So I don't need to have, and I literally have sat down with agents. They've got 1,000 names, and they think they're all A+. They're not. Not. It's just a quantity system. How many in those A+, those 1,000 people? Do you know their names? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know the day that they bought their house? Do they know their pets' names? Do they know what kind of cars they drive? Do they know these things? Because if you don't know those things, you don't have a relationship with those people. They are a database entry. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
Oh, I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so whether you call it database or relationship, do you have any criteria on that they, here it's like they are on PR, they're citizen, their work permit, because, there are times when you, like, I'm not very old in Canada. I'm just 4 or 5 years old. So I know a lot of people who are on work permit.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are just, applying.
So those are people that have a status in the country as a citizen, as a landed immigrant. Don't look at it that way. I'm looking at it from a relationship that you have with that person. It doesn't matter what their status is in the country. Okay.
Okay.
0.
Okay.
They could be, my mother's family came to Canada in 1604. That's a long time ago, right? from France. I'm half what's called an Acadian. Does anybody know what an Acadian is? Very rare population in Canada. We actually, when we came here, we completely got along with the First Nations people. We created another culture called the Métis. You ever heard of that? The hybrids? That's what my ancestors on my mother's side are. So you could be 400 years in this country, or you could be 4 days in this country. I want to know what the relationship you have with the person is.
Okay.
That's how you define categorizing people. So A's are people that most likely would use you. It's a little bit different from the A plus that is always going to use you. And they're always going to refer you. And listen to this too. This is important with the A pluses. If an A plus is in a room like this, right? Maybe it's in their cafeteria at their workplace, and they're all sitting down eating. And I hear Matt over there talking about buying his first house. An A plus is going to get up out of their chair and go over and talk to Matt. And you know what he's going to talk about? I'm going to talk to Matt about? That's what an A plus is. Do you have people like that in your database? Or list of relationships? Yes or no? So when you're creating this list, you've got to be that strict about qualifying who these people are. And you're going to find that there's a lot of people that you thought would be an A plus are really not. And that's not a problem. All it's done though is identified to you. It's kind of pulled the veil back to say, okay, this is really who that person is. And again, it's okay. But it's knowledge for you. And A is going to be somebody that's most likely going to use you and most likely going to refer you. Now, I had probably 30 or 40 of those people in my database. Again, it's not quantity, it's quality, right? And as you slip down the scale, like a B would be they're loyal to you, and they might or likely will refer you and use you. Likely. A plus always. A, most likely. C, a B, likely. Now we go down to C. A C, I call them I'm a sports guy. A C is what I would call a free agent. Who said that? That's what a C is. That's who you're talking to mostly as a C and a D. They're talking to so many other people. Now, I'm not saying don't deal with free agents, right? You've got to get your dialogues and the way you do your business down pat to be able to work with the C, because you got to move the C up to a B. You want to move the B up to an A and the A up to an A plus. This is what your strategy and skill set should be doing. And there's a lot of C's. They're researchers. I don't know if we talked about this before I went on camera. I think I talked about this before I went on camera with you, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are researchers. We sometimes negatively call them tire kickers. In our business, sometimes looky loos. I don't know if you heard that term. That's going back way time. And that's fine, because we are like that ourselves. If we're looking to buy a car, a TV, plan a vacation, are we not doing research? Are we not looking? Yes. Do we not walk into sometimes a car dealership and want to go for a test drive and don't buy that car and go buy something else? Yes. Does it make us bad? No. Make us we're a researcher. We're refining down to what we want. And that's what a free agent does. But when they find and roll onto you, who knows what you're doing, has the right dialogues and conversations, knows how to build a relationship, they're going to sign with your team. Right? Why do not a lot of people want to, let's say, what's the worst hockey team out there right now? Well, we haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967 in Toronto. I was born in 1970. I want to die, before I die, I want to see a Stanley Cup come to Toronto. But a lot of players don't want to come to Toronto because it's the microcosm of sports. You're in a fishbowl. So free agents don't like to choose to come to play in Toronto. That's a fact. One of my clients was the #1 draft pick in the NHL back in 2005. Gosh, I got his jersey in my office where I sold him real estate, lots of real estate. And I remember asking him in his prime, Rick, why don't you come to Toronto? You'll be the captain. Like, you'll be in the front page of every. I don't want that. I like playing down in Columbus was where he was playing at the time. Then he went to New York. Well, New York in hockey, they don't really care about hockey. They care about basketball and football. Right? Anonymity. Didn't like that. So free agent. Can you get these free agents? Yes, you can. Some of the free agents, you don't want them. Get rid of them. And the D person. Do you know what that stands for? And if you take my class, you can't say it.
Delete.
They are. Do you know that?
I didn't use
That's right.
these things for delete.
That's the word. That's a delete. So let's talk about the people you're talking to. A lot of them, I think, are deletes and feel good about deleting them. They go in the garbage because that's what they are.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. When I took my master's degree, I had a professor taught me. We had been taught as a young kid by a psychologist named Carl Jung. You ever heard of Carl Jung before? Very famous psychologist. He and Sigmund Freud, you've heard that name?
Yes.
Invented psychology in the early 1900s. And this professor of mine at the time had 7 PhDs, and he was working on 2 more, and he was in his 80s. He was working on a PhD in theoretical physics and theology. Amazing. He told me one time, and he's the guy actually who certified me to be an emotional intelligence assessor. He told me, Mike, think of people as like garbage trucks. That's an analogy. So everybody, all of us are garbage trucks, okay? And we're driving around, and in the back we have what? We have some garbage, because we're garbage trucks, okay? I mean, we're bad people, but we're, okay? So just an analogy. We have this garbage sitting in the back. Some of us don't have a lot of garbage. Some of us are half full with garbage. Some of us are full of garbage, overflowing with garbage. Now, there's people in our lives that will come up to us with their garbage trucks and keep on going past, no problem. But there's other people, they're going to go up to your front lawn, the beautiful one you just cut, great, manicured flowers. They're going to back up and they're going to dump their garbage on your front lawn. You have a choice to accept those types of people in your lives or say no to those people in your lives. In our business, it is these people that are geeks. And there's lots of them. They're using lots of realtors. And yes, they will buy something from some realtor someday. No doubt about it. But do you want to be the person that is going to a casino and your odds are so low, but your effort is so high to try to get that when everybody else is chasing that same person? That garbage truck is going to dump their garbage. They're going to use you. That's a delete right away. That's the person that does not want to come in and meet with you in your office. Now listen, just for my own kind of peace of mind and security, I'd love for you to come in. If a man or a woman said that to me, I'd respect that. Hey, sure, I get that. I understand that. Perfect. When would you like to meet? Can you be here at my office at 7? Absolutely. That's a normal person's response, right? Somebody that's working with 10 other people, not going to say that. Or somebody that's got nefarious intentions is definitely not going to say that. Right? So, develop a qualified list. We just did that. Develop consistency and habits to maintain and grow that. That's, I'm going to call people 1 time a day, or I'm going to call 5 people a day, or 10. You figure that out. Develop this, what is your sphere of influence? Figure out what you like. I put hockey and baseball. That was my whole world. When I sold real estate, I became a coach, sponsor. I joined the executive. I became a trainer, like running hockey schools and baseball clinics. I love doing that. That was my prospecting, actually. Instead of knocking on doors, which if you want to knock doors, I support you 1,000% in doing that. And you can be successful knocking doors. We have a guy that has an office right there, Alex Abramoff. He's won the top 35 under 35 for Royal Page, I think 2 or 3 years in a row. He started his business by knocking doors every day and built a very high 6-figure income, almost 7-figure income by knocking doors. So it does work, right? My prospecting was done in hockey arenas and baseball diamonds. I loved it. To me, it wasn't work, like honestly. What do you like to do? Those are personal questions to answer. Where do you spend your money? Analyze where you're spending. If you're doing flyers, spending all kinds of money in social media, where's it going? Is it going to your A plus A's and B's, or is it just going to the masses? Maybe do targeting spending on social media, if that's where you're soliciting business, okay? Next one, sphere of influence, same stuff we just talked about, create and build, qualified sort, and communicate. I put down here now 30 to 36 times a year as you're touching points for people that are in your list of relationships. Now, I was probably more, not probably I was about 18 times to maximum 24. Now, I didn't have the kind of resources that you guys have right now. We did not have social media like it is today. So I would be doing like a video. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have the Bank of Canada coming out with another rate announcement, and let's hope we have another cut. That's a good touch point for you to do a video. Trev publishes every month this thing. This is just the front page of it, the Market Watch, right? And the media and other realtors use this tool to communicate in videos to their database of relationships. If you let them do it, then it's their voice that's getting out there, not yours. You want to create your own voice. You want to be a source of information with your voice. So research this thing. If you have a specific market that you're working in, research that market, become the expert in it. If you want to talk in generics with that. Like those are generic talking points, right? That I shared with you when we first started. Figure that out. Make it part of your system so that every month Market Watch comes out, I do a video. Bank of Canada has an announcement. They cut the rate, they hold the rate, they increase the rate. I do a video. Put it in your calendar to do it. If you put it in your calendar to do it, you'll do it, right? We have Signature Live where we have the Urban Nation report. Exclusive to us as a company, amazing. When that comes out every month, maybe do a video on that. Maybe do a success video for a client that may be willing to go on camera with you, that just bought their dream home. Let them be your testimonial on video. But if you don't put a system in place to make it happen, it'll never happen. You're going to be everywhere. You're going to be a shotgun. When I shoot a shotgun against the wall, it's a big spread. I want to be a rifle and shoot a target. Aim for one target, not 1,000, okay? 30 to 36 times, can you do that? Absolutely. You can do it once a month with Market Watch. There's 12 times right there. Bank of Canada makes 10 announcements. There's 22 times. And 2 things that are very topical that get picked up by the media, by the realtors. Do it. Be the voice and source of information for who you are speaking to. Don't let somebody else do that. Because then when their property gets listed, you know, the negative mindset is, oh, you know, that guy must have cut his commission. Oh, we make up an excuse of why they didn't use you. They didn't use you because you didn't stay in touch. You didn't have that contact plan with them. Plain and simple. Definition of business plan. This is the continuous. This should be on. Let's see. We should be on page 8. I think. Yeah. This was my definition for my thesis. It's a continuous process of making deliberate and systematic choices to predict with the greatest certainty the future viability of your business. Continuous means it's always being reviewed. So just because I put a plan together doesn't mean it's now the 10 commandments and it's carved in stone, okay? It's continuous, it's evolving. Deliberate, very specific about those choices, and systematic in those choices that I'm making. And I'm doing it because I want to predict where I'm going to be in 6 months or a year or 5 years. So that in 6 months, I can look back at my plan and say, oh, I really hit a home run here. I said I wanted to do 10 deals, I did 15. Wow, I got to keep on doing the same things I was doing because it's really working. Or I said I wanted to do 10 and I did 2. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, you know what? I got really sick. I was in the hospital. Legitimate reason. That's why you did it. Or I decided not to make 5 calls a day. Or I decided not to stay in touch with my relationships. Or I did this, I did that. There's a reason. Let me share with you an experience that I have every time when you walk into my office as a manager and ask me for advice. And usually it starts with, hey, Mike, I'm frustrated. I don't know what's going on. I just can't seem to make anything happen. I can't get listings. I can't get buyers. Do you feel like that's a frustration you may have? Right? And I'm like, hey, listen, everybody goes through that. But let me ask you a question. Here's a piece of paper, here's a pen. Tell me what you did yesterday. Try to find a buyer and sell it. Write that down for me. And you're shaking your head, you're all shaking your heads. And that's usually the response. You didn't do anything yesterday. I'm like, oh, okay. So tell me what you did last week then. Because maybe yesterday you took it off. Maybe you had other chores to do. What did you do last Monday to Friday? And you shake your head again. So listen, I'm not a real estate doctor, but I'm pretty close to it. I think I just diagnosed your problem. You can't tell me what you did yesterday or last week to further your business. So what's my prescription then? I'm going to write a prescription for you. Tomorrow, you're going to start doing things, proactive things, to generate business. It's as simple as that, folks. There's no mystery. There's no secret pill I can give you. That's legal. Okay? You have to be doing things. So when you're sitting there and you're frustrated, oh gosh, I haven't been able to work with a buyer, can't find a buyer, can't find. What did you do yesterday? What did you do last week? What did you do last month? That's your answer. 100%. And the person that looks back at you when you're looking into the mirror is your solution, not me. I'll teach you this stuff. This is how I did it. I'm gonna actually give you that. You're gonna see this next. You see it on page 9 if you're in the workbook. This is my plan when I sold real estate. I was an athlete. I needed actually to have goals. I needed structure. Otherwise, I'm like you guys. It's the pleasure principle. We always want to go do the fun things in life. Sometimes this stuff, calling people, is not fun. But if you have it with A+ and A type of people, it does become fun. For me, it was fun being in a hockey arena and a baseball diamond doing business. To me, that's fun. Knocking doors for me is not fun. It's fun for other people. Making cold calls is fun for some people, not for me. I did something that I enjoy doing. That's going to generate those relationships. So you can use the Harvard system as well. It's called the SMART system: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely when you're figuring out your plan. Now, we're going to bring up Matt. Matt's over there. We're going to bring up the 52-week proactive challenge. So this is actually where now I've taught you, I've spoken to you. It's all fun and games. This is now where the fun and games kind of stops. And this is where usually people will sit there and go, I think I'm not going to continue in the program. And that's fine. It's not for everybody all the time at this time. Some of you are in different stages. I hope as many of you now take this challenge, because I call it a challenge. This is how I sold real estate. Proactive activities are in this system, and Matt's going to kind of go through how this looks. And so you're going to get all the Excel files for this. I needed to have a system. I need to have a tracking mechanism. I need to have my goals. So every week I would have a target of points. So I created a point system to keep me on track with selling real estate. And if you look at the column on the left, these are proactive activities that you can be doing in real estate. Now, it's not an exhaustive list. There may be things that are there that are not there that you're doing. If there are, add those things in that you're doing and assign what you think would be a fair point for this system. Now, can I write on this, or is this?
It's still shared. You should be able to write on it.
Okay. So my recommendation to start, because I don't want to overwhelm your system, I don't want you to chase you away and you don't show up again. I'm gonna target you guys for 250 points per week. That's gonna be your goal. To put it in perspective, when I was at the peak of my career, I was between 2,000 and 3,000 points a week. Okay. Start small. How do you eat the elephant again? One bite at a time. Okay. So I'm gonna challenge you guys to do 250 points a week. Okay. The program starts really now, right? The challenge today, meaning tomorrow when you wake up, I want you to start looking at the system. What can you do proactively to generate leads? Now, these are in ascending order or descending order, sorry. So if you see there, a quarter point for a flyer or a quarter point for a done for you marketing piece is a very low point system, right? So it's a quarter of a point for one. To get one full point, you need to put 4 of those down. Why do I say that? I find that to be a low return, low threshold mechanism for being proactive in generating leads. Make sense? As you descend down, the points go up. So door knocking, go back to door knocking is 1. So for every door you knock and talk to somebody, right? So, you know, if you're going to be a door knocker, you don't go up. People do that. You wait for someone to answer the door, okay? Knock on the door, somebody's there, have a conversation, give yourself. If you want to do a newsletter that's going to be emailed or business cards handed out, these are all 1-pointers. But if you do it 250 times, you've had 250 interactions. If you do 250 interactions on a weekly basis, just during the course of my 6 weeks, so we have a week off, by the way, right? So everybody knows that on Halloween, we're not doing a course. So we're 6 weeks. So 6 times 250 is 1,500 interactions you can have with my challenge to you in 6 weeks. Do you think that there's a possibility that there could be something there? Could there be a piece of gold that you uncover through all of the rock of the 1,500 times you interact? Yeah. Now, what's the challenge? Is to do this thing, to wake up and go, yep, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick some of these things that I have strengths in, and I'm going to do that. Again, I may not have something on that list that you're doing right now that you're getting success from. Put it in there and give it what you think would be a fair number. Now, if you go down now, Matt, there's going to be some high numbers, right? So here's a pop buy. A pop buy is a past client right there. The 25 or am I off?
35.
Okay, 35. So a pop buy is somebody that I've dealt with before. I've sold their house, they bought a house with me. I'm going to go and actually have a nice visit with them. I'm going to pop by, right? A couple weeks is Halloween. Maybe you buy them a pumpkin, right? Buy a pumpkin, drop by.
Just a sample.
That's just a sample. You're going to get the full thing there.
Oh,
It's an interactive Excel file that Matt's going to send you today.
Okay.
Matt's going to actually send you a whole bunch of stuff today. You're going to get tsunami with some stuff from me, okay? Which includes this. So pop by. Halloween, people celebrate, they go. Pumpkins are a cool thing anyways. Maybe you want to make a jack-o'-lantern, maybe you want to make pumpkin pie. I don't know, whatever. Go and bring them a pumpkin. In the summertime, I used to bring, it's my favorite joke, the ketchup, mustard, and relish, right? I used to bring the tri-packs of that, and I had a little stupid tagline, hey, I just wanted to catch up with you. Why? Because I relish the relationship we have, and not every realtor cuts mustard like I do. That was my tagline. Bring them flowers in spring. People like flowers. In the wintertime, maybe you bring them some salt for their driveway to melt the ice. Those are your A pluses and A's. You're spending money investing in those people that will always use you or most likely use you, as we discussed in the A plus scenario, okay? So a pop buy gets 35 points, right? Why? Because you're going to spend probably an hour or 2 with that person, cementing, developing, deepening the relationship. They may not want to sell their house right now. They may not want to buy a new house, but maybe they want to buy an investment, or maybe they have a friend that's thinking and talking about real estate. There's your opportunity to get that referral. So as you're going down the scale, like I do give newspaper a lot. Why? Because it's expensive to do. I would not recommend that if you do not have the budget for that, because you can spend yourself into oblivion very quickly. I did it, learned from my mistake, It's a very low return. You're gonna get 1,000, they're not gonna get 1,000, you're gonna get, 10 people calling you and you might get maybe one opportunity out of that. Okay, so as you go down, and of course I got firm deal here. Once you get a firm deal, you're gonna give yourself 150 points, right? Why? Because that's what we're here. We're to get a deal. So reward yourself with that. But all the effort to get to the 150 points is going through the dirt like the excavators at Barrick are doing to get the gold. Make sense? Any questions on this? Matt, you want to kind of give them a how it works?
Overview. So this is set up so that it will actually kind of auto-populate itself to let you know how you're doing. All you want to do basically is fill in the goal that you want to reach, and then basically how many you actually do through the week. So if you want to go knock on 100 doors, that's your goal. And on Saturday you do 25, and on Sunday you do another 25. Well, you've hit 50% of your target. And then you do you do some that was cold call. So here, let's do another 100 for door knocking. And again, we do some door knocking throughout the week. We do 25 here, 25 on Tuesday, 25 on Wednesday. We hit 75% of that total.
You can see it's color coded, right?
Yeah.
We do some social media posts.
Do 1 to 100 so they see the 100.
Yeah. We do. We want to do some social media posting. So we're gonna do. We're gonna throw up, about 15 different posts, and we do them all on the Friday. So Friday we're gonna follow this line over, and we do send all 15. So we hit 100% on that. Oh, there. What did I do?
Because there's 2 points.
We did 250.
2 points.
Oh, okay,
2
that's
points.
right. That's right. Yeah. So we do 7.5. There's 100. Okay, we do half a social media post one day.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say the email, like if you have in your database, suppose you have 150 like clients or like leads,
Mhm.
and if you send 150 the email, that it means counts the 150.
Where's email in this line here?
It's like in the door knocking, the next one, paper made or emailed.
Paper,
Newsletter.
mail,
So-
or
Newsletter.
So you send an
Newsletter.
email newsletter, so
Yeah.
that it's 150, then you get 150 in
I
there.
would say 150. Yeah, and you could take one of the done for you marketing
Yeah.
posts that the design sends out with stat updates or Bank of Canada announcements. Throw all those into Sphere, fire it off to all your clients, and there's 150.
That's your fingertips in our company. We do this done for you marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did this stuff on my own. I had to create content. You're getting content created for free.
And then at the bottom of this sheet here, you have your various weeks. So you can set up week to week.
Yeah.
And keep track of them all. There's 7 weeks total in this. You can just resave this Excel file and keep reusing it over and over again. So I'm going to send this to you guys as well.
Yeah. And so every week on Thursday, you're going to send Matt your Excel file for them. Is everybody up for that challenge? Okay. And again, this is the integrity. I'll get to you in a second. The integrity is not to make up numbers, because I'm not checking. Go, why are you only at 50% of your target? I don't care. It's your business. I do care. I want to see you succeed. When we do our awards and hand out the plaques, believe it or not, I'm probably one of the most happy people, as happy as you are, to watch you walk across the stage to get a plaque or an award, if that's what one of your wisest in the business. I really genuinely get a pleasure out of seeing that happen, right? But if you're gonna fudge numbers, it does me no good. Like, it's not hurting me, it's hurting you. So if this first week you get 25 points, not 250, it is what it is. Next week, make sure you try to do as hard as you can, 250, or make it 495. I don't know. It's your business, not mine. But I'm giving you what I did for free. But people have training companies where they're selling you their systems that they ran. I just didn't monetize it. I'm open source real estate trainer, basically. And that's the inside look of how I did my business and how I kept track. I methodologized my business this way for the number one most important thing that we do. Our job is generating leads. You had a question?
Yeah, I'm really good with paper. Can we just print it out at home and then keep it in our book?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. However this is your business, right? However you feel most comfortable running your business, please do it. You don't have to follow my Excel. I'm a paper guy too. Quite frankly, how I used to do it, I had a 3-ring binder and I had 52 weeks. And every week there it was. Right. Matt, what are we doing there? Oh, that's another.
You're back to your presentation.
Okay, back to it.
Yeah.
So any questions on that? Matt can answer all of them. He will send you the list later today. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 6 C's of selling that were part of my thesis as well. The first one is contact. That's your lead generation activities. There's a little bit of repetition in what I'm saying to you today, but I'm trying to ingrain this and see this into your mind. This is a business about generating leads. Number 2, how are you going to communicate with these people? What's the method? How frequent? And you should educate them while you're doing it. So the methods, that's in person, that's over the phone, that's by email, that's by social media, that's by snail mail. You can send them letters. Part of Brian Buffini's system is to write 5 personal notes a week. Now we have a postal strike, I think, in Canada, so you may not want to do that right now. But some people do the personal notes. When's the last time you've received a personal note from somebody? Have you ever received a personal note? Sorry. I have. And when I get them, I'm like, wow, that person took the time to actually write a letter to me. That's pretty cool. Number 3, that's the converting. That's booking appointment, the meeting in CETO. If I could show you how I could sell your house for the most amount of money in this amount of time, would you be interested in hearing more? That's the booking the appointment. CETO is come into the office. Contract. Sign up as a client and customer. How good are you at that persuasion to get them bound to that contract? Now, we were going to talk about this in the buyer's class for buyers and the seller side for listings. So I'm not glossing over that. We will actually cover that, how you can get those things signed. Number 5, that's cashing in. That's the reward. That's you're getting your fee. That's getting your commission, unless you're running a charity, which is your choice as well. Chart and follow up and keep in touch. This is where the medium and long-term part of your business kicks in. That's where using my point system can help you. Okay. You feel like your mind's a bit like a parachute today, like it's opening up to things that you never thought of before, maybe helpful. Some things are good for you to implement it. Some things are maybe a little down the road, or no, it's not for me at all. And I'm completely, okay with that. I'm agnostic to however you feel towards that stuff, because maybe one thing will change the way that you're going to do your business. And that to me is, I've accomplished my job. I've already finished. By the way, everything's recorded. If you want to go back and watch the section, you're more than welcome. It gets every day, Matt. Does it get loaded in tonight? And
I'll get it up tonight and sent out. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, next slide should be to start your. Oh, there we go. So plan, work, and stay motivated. Those are already all there for you. This is basically staying away from the motivated part. We did the plan of work. That's staying away from negative influences in your life. And there's a lot of realtors that like to have what we call pity parties, right? Oh, this buyer did this to me, the seller did this to me. Don't engage in those conversations, even if they're happening here in our office. Oh, great, Matt. Sorry that happened to you, buddy. Oh, I got to go make a phone call. I'm scheduled to make a call to the past client. Get out of that conversation. It's toxic. Don't have that. Like, get away. And spray the mosquito repellent. Get away from me. All right, next one, Matt. Where's that going? There we go. So this is, if you're ever struggling for questions to ask with leads that are coming inbound, here's 12 to 13. Here's some generic questions you can start to ask. And what I used to do is, I had an office, I had a window corner office. I had actually this lead summary form on my desk, and I had a whole bunch of them. So even somebody like me that memorizes the dialogues, internalizes the dialogues, sometimes I even had to go back and go, oh, yeah, I got to keep this on track. Ask that question. Ask this appropriate question. So here's just some generic questions. This is the actual form I used to have on my desk to keep me focused in case I went off on a tangent or forgot where I wanted to go. So, okay. So there's page 13, 14. Okay, so now we're getting into the budget stuff. This would be page 14 and 15. This is like for me going to the dentist. Okay, I don't like going to the dentist. It's not my thing to do, but I do it. Every year I actually do a plan, a financial plan, budget plan. And so in page 14 and 15, I think it goes to 16 and 17. This is the full one. Matt's going to actually send you the Excel file of this as well. And it's broken up into essentially 3 quadrants. Personal expense quadrant, office expenses, and where's the other one here? Marketing expenses. So 2 of these are non-negotiable kind of items, and 1 is a discretionary item. Discretionary means you can choose to do it or not do it. These are the 2 that you basically can't choose not to do, okay? Your personal expenses are fixed expenses, clothing, food. You may have a mortgage, you may have whatever. Those are fixed costs. Office expenses, you know, when you join Royal Page or any other brokerage, you have your corporate plan with the company, you have your whatever fees with the company, you have your AREA dues, your Korea dues, you have your RICO, you have your TREV stuff, right? Those, if you're in our business, those are mandatory expenses. Would you agree with that? But the marketing stuff, those are discretionary. You can choose to do those or not to do those. My advice to you is to be very careful about allocating your financial resources to the marketing things, because you can get out of hand very quickly and spend a lot of money. It doesn't have a lot of return to it, okay? So these are discretionary, right? Special events, presentations, gifts, presentation. These are all discretionary things. Some of our agents just do an amazing job, spend a lot of money on this kind of stuff. Some of our agents have staging companies that they own. They own the furniture. They own moving trucks. Like there's all kinds of things that they've, you know, again, eating the elephant. They didn't go and do that right away. They built towards something like that. But here's an exercise for you to do or not do. Analyze your personal, your office, and your marketing expenses today. What does it look like? Which then tells you how much do I need to bring in every month to satisfy these expenses. Now, if you have a significant other, a spouse, or whatever, do it together. Find out what your household income is and what your household expenses are. Okay. I know it's painful, but I do it every year with my wife. Answer. She has access to the portal. Yes, she does. Sally does all the time. Couldn't have asked for a better wife for that. Or daughter. Okay, so few words we're no longer going to use. It's on page 19. Commission. This is a word that we use a lot in our business, commission. We're going to change the word commission to another word that is less psychologically threatening and scary to a buyer or to a seller. I've used the word a few times today. You could say that, but that's not my word. You could say that word too. I use the word fee, my fee. So we're going to write the word fee in there. Matt, my fee is 5% to be able to handle this big, massive job of selling your house. It's a lot less psychologically imposing saying the word fee versus commission. Okay. Next word is cost or price. Matt's a buyer. Matt, this is going to cost you $1.5 million. When I hear the word cost, like I'm giving up my leg or an arm, like I'm giving up something, like I don't like having that cost, the price. So what's a word we can change that for?
Investment.
Investment. Matt, your investment today to get into this property is $1.5 million. Feels a lot better hearing it that way than this, right? Yeah. These words, we're going to use these words to create your elevator pitch. You're going to work on this week, right? 30-second, 1 minute. And if you volunteer next week, you'll get a book. Okay. I've heard some amazing elevator speeches that blew me away using these words. Okay. Number 3, down payment. I'll just get this one. initial investment. So Matt, your investment on this property is $1.5 million and your initial investment is only $15,000 or whatever that number is. Number 4, monthly payment is your monthly investment. So so those 2 to 4 is investment. Okay. Number 5, contract. Well, Matt, to get into this,
Agreement
Yeah.
representation.
I use the word paperwork. Just to get us started, we need to do the paperwork. Right? And the delivery is very important in how you do this. Right? Use like inflections with some of the words. Animate yourself. Okay? People like to work with people that are excited. That are not monotone. Okay. Number 6, buy. What can we change the word buy to that makes it even more psychologically appealing to do this?
To purchase.
How about we use the word own?
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. Instead of buying this, Matt, you're going to own this property. You're gonna own it. Number 7, sell or sold. Matt, I'm going to sell you on this costing $1.5 million costing property. What can we say instead of sell or sold? Hey, Matt, how about if I get you involved in this wonderful investment opportunity where your initial investment is $20,000?
I mean, to say
You
investment.
can get you to own that property today. I'll just use most of the work here. So get involved. Not sell or sold. Nobody likes to be sold or sold. Be sold to or sold to. Get them involved. Number 8, deal. I hear this word 1,000 times a day. Is it a good deal? A good deal? I hate that word. Yeah, opportunity. Love it. Way better. Number 9, sign.
Oh, swip to the next page.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe I've got to do it one sec. Got this, and then that. I got to hold on. I gotta do stuff. Please. Clear all.
There we go. Well, we got sign there anyway, so that's blank. Because the other one's pitch is not fee, by the way. So sign is, I've got multiple ones here. So I was in the sport world. So if I was to go up to an athlete and I wanted to get something signed, a baseball card or a hockey card, what am I asking for? So when I was selling to the people that worked that were in the hockey and the baseball world, it's like, hey, just need your autograph on the paperwork. Okay. So if you're not in that world, then you can say, hey, just need you to okay this paperwork. Okay it. Or can I get you to sign off on this? It's another good word to use. Number 10, pitch becomes, I'll just give it to you, a presentation. We're pretty good at using presentation in our language today. Number 11 is problem. Nobody likes problems, right? But we are okay with challenges. What I call my system, the 52-week proactive challenge. Not a problem.
Second Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Number 12, objections. Well, if I'm thinking that he's objecting to me all the time, it beats me down. It makes me feel worn out. It makes me feel like I'm being grinded, right? But if I change that word objections to he's got questions. Questions, Max, asking your questions, not objections. And again, put yourself in your own shoes for something you're doing. Do you not have questions? Not necessarily are they objections. Number 13, hate this one. I want the cheapest property you can find. The cheapest. Oh, what's that?
What was objections?
Objections is questions. Yeah. Number 13, cheaper.
Best deal.
We did deal
Oh, yeah.
before. That's
Steve.
economical. That's the word. I got an economical investment opportunity for you, Matt. When would be a good time for us to meet? 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock tonight?
Stevie. Steve,
Steel,
Steve.
steel deal? Steel deal. Think about that for a second.
No.
Not
I
picking
don't
on
like
you,
it.
but I don't like the word steel. And making a connotation to what I'm doing here, right? So I would not do that. Yes.
What about if you're dealing with, sorry, I said deal. When you're working with someone who maybe English isn't their first language.
Okay.
So words like economical aren't really something they'll like click with.
So they don't speak English?
They speak English, but to a lesser extent. Like I'll give you an example. Like a lot of my friends' parents, usually like the wives, they're fluent in Polish, obviously, but their English is like subpar.
Okay.
So
What's the Polish word for economical?
it's a good question.
Find that out. Okay. Right, true. Okay. Yeah. Number 14, customer. Customer, yep. Fine, thank you. Number 15, a looker. I've said this already. It's a researcher. Yes. A prospect is a future. Right. 17, visit. Sorry, appointment is a visit or a pop by. Which we've covered both. Do you have my page 20 for this one now too? I'm gonna do this really quickly. We're coming up on 3 hours. Everybody's okay there, right? Okay. I've probably got another 20 minutes, if that's okay. Maybe even tops of half an hour. Okay, so I'm gonna go very quickly. I'm not gonna spend too much time, so we're gonna do dialogues and other courses, but I just want to touch, have you guys have some dialogues written down the book. So minor point. This is in a conversation you're having with somebody, maybe you want to shift them off a conversation. So it's kind of putting that psychological edge into them where you say, oh, just can you confirm, are you on the east side of ABC Street or on the west side? So your politicians do this all the time. When they get asked a question specifically about something like that, how come the government spent $500 million on this program? Instead of answering the question on the program that they were being asked on, don't you find that they go somewhere else? Well, you know, our government's invested $2 billion in this and they don't answer the question, they divert. This is a diversion. So if a client's going down a line of questioning that you want to divert them from, just go for a minor points course correction. Matt, sorry, I just want to confirm, are you on the east side or west side of the street? West. Okay, perfect. Now I've diverted him from wherever he was going down, whatever angle he was going down. Alternative choice, which I've taught you, right? That's the when would be a good time. The sharp angle I taught you, it actually should be inverted. 3 should be 2 and 2 should be 3, Matt. So we've got to change that in the book too. Okay. Number 4, tie down. This is a tie down question in the listing agreement. Listing president, if we could agree on a price, would you let me handle the sale? If we could agree on the price, would you let me handle the sale? Sure, Mike, no problem. But there's that thing called commission. Oh, the fee. We got to figure that out too, right? Is that important to you? Perfect. Let's deal with that at the end of the presentation. Is that okay with you? You never want to deal with your fee or commission on a phone call when they call you before you've been in their house. And you don't want to deal with it the very first thing when you walk in the house. You've not provided your value. You've not shared with them what you're going to do to get the house sold. You've commoditized yourself with every other realtor that says, I'll charge you 3.5%. Really? Their $1 million house that they want $1.5 million for, you're gonna discount yourself to sell something impossible? Don't like that. Expanders, so tell me more. Well, if your realtors are just the same, you all do the same thing. Well, tell me more about that. What does that mean to you? Let them open up. Well, maybe they had a bad experience. Remember you said to me in the beginning, you want to get into business because they had a bad experience? Tell me more about that. Oh, you had a bad experience. I get that. I understand that. I can assure you that's not what you're going to experience. You're getting, in psychology, we call it, get behind the thing that's the thing. thing that's a thing, it's behind the thing. In fact, in personality psychology, the word personality is the root word of the Greek word called persona. Do you know what persona means? Huh? Nope. You want to get behind. Rapport builders. Oh, what's your dog's name? Oh, I love the car, your Mustang in the driveway. Oh, yeah, I love the picture of your is that your father, grandfather was in the military, like whatever. You get in there, you try and find something that you can build a rapport with. Maybe they had the most beautiful garden. Oh my gosh, I love the flower. What was that? What's that purple flower you got there? What's that? Is that an apple tree? What kind of apples are they? Like, so those are things that you're building rapport on. Okay. Number 7, it should be right. Not, here we go. Yes. When they put up a barrier, say, no problem. So they have that challenge, that objection. And it's like they want you to stop dead in your tracks. Acknowledge that. No problem. Tell me more about that. Can you explain more about that? Can you elaborate on that? No problem. If they ask, should I leave the drapes? It's just, I think, should I leave the appliances? Should I leave the, I don't know, you make it up. I would. Otherwise, you can become a salesperson for Home Depot or Leon's or the Brick. Are you really wanting to sell drapes? You want to sell the appliances? I would. Sure, leave it. When they hesitate, I don't know. I don't know if I should do that right now. Well, let's pretend. You shared with me that you're downsizing. You're moving into a retirement home. Let's pretend what this looks like right now. You said you had an immediate need to do that. Your husband's going into a wheelchair, whatever. If we wait, we procrastinate on this decision and don't do it for another month or two, that's another month or two before you can get to where you need to go. Let's not pretend that that's where we want to go. We want to do something better. Let's get this started right now, because people will procrastinate. That's their natural inclination. It's a natural proclivity. They don't want to make a decision. One of your jobs is to help them make a decision. It's the persuasion part for a positive purpose. I've been failing on that with my parents right now, because my parents are in a condo, and my parents they're in their mid-80s. They need to transition into assisted care. My dad is stubborn. He was a salesman. He was the best salesman I ever learned from. He outsold me on that one. He's stubborn, unfortunately. Generic bonus. Oh, sorry. When they have an objection, fair enough. There's the no problem. Fair enough. I get it. That's not a problem. You're acknowledging that. You're lessening. You're lowering their anxiety, their worry, their fear. And by the way, they fear us. It's probably the number one source of why they don't make decisions, because they're afraid of us. True. Bonus generic questions. Is that a yes then? No, the procrastination. Is that a yes then? Well, no. Oh, is it my company? No. Is it me? No. Is it the price? No. Is it the fee? Yeah. Yeah, because John over there said you do it for 3.5 and you're asking 5. Well, great. Now you've narrowed down what the objection and challenge is. Focus on that. We'll cross off all the other ones. Okay. Does that make sense? You've heard me say that a lot. You guys go like that. And you ask that question when there is no way they can say no. Again, I'm getting agreement from you. Would you agree? All right. I think it's my just do it. This is the Nike stuff. So on page 20. This is generic. So you see what I've done here is an 8+ day plan. This is the customization plan that you're gonna have for a buyer client or a seller client. And this one here, I've got this is for a seller. Now, my plans would be 90 days. This is just page one of like 3 or 4 pages of a customized plan. Use it as a template for you to create your own, right? Add things, delete things, I don't care. I'm just showing you one more mechanism to use a system to ensure that you're staying on track, okay? Next one should be my Sunday aisle one. Where's my other one, at? I have the 10 commandments, there. The 10 commandments of being a professional realtor. Thou shalt listen more than talk. That's 2 ears, 1 mouth. Thou shalt always be open to learning, like a parachute. Your mind is a parachute. Thou shalt go to the office and meetings on a regular basis. Thou shalt develop relationships in spheres of influences and elsewhere. Thou shalt market yourself at all times. Thou shalt say no negative, hear no negative, be not in negative company. Thou shalt first confirm a question, objection before answering it. Sometimes we have this urge to talk over people. Listen to what they're saying. And plant that and then respond. Thou shalt ask many sincere questions. Thou shalt take a new client only if you want to. Remember I said about those D's, the garbage truck dropping dirt and garbage on your front lawn? Choose to work with them or choose not to. I advise you to choose not to. Thou shalt not ignore the needs of yourself and your loved one. Let's go back to your schedule, your personal stuff. Have integrity for you. Do not cancel going to your kid's graduation or your kid's whatever, or your wife's whatever. Don't answer phones on your wedding day. Like I do. My wife never knew until 2 All right, so I think this is my last thing. Yeah. So this is probably my favorite poem of all times. It was written by Dennis Waitley. Yeah, I've got Dennis's name there. Dennis Waitley is a psychologist. Might not be with us anymore. And he was the head psychologist for U.S. Olympic team during the 60s and 70s, and also NASA for all their astronauts that went up to the moon and stuff like that, even if they did or did not. And so he wrote this poem, and he's a performance psychologist coach, big one from the 80s and 90s. So he took what he did there professionally and made it into a coaching business. And I literally took his program back in the 90s when he taught. It was phenomenal. This poem here, I read it 3 or 4 times a year. I love it because it's about living on this someday aisle. Someday I'll do this, right? So it's the procrastinator in all of us. So here, I'll read it for you. There's an island fantasy a someday I'll will never see. When recession stops, inflation ceases. Our mortgages is paid, our pay increases. That someday I'll where problems end, where every piece of mail is from a friend, where all the nations can go it alone, where we all retire at 41, playing backgammon in the island sun. Most unhappy people look to tomorrow to erase this day's hardship and sorrow. They put happiness on layaway and struggle through a blue today. But happiness cannot be sought, it can't be earned, it can't be bought. Life's most important revelation is that the journey means more than the destination. Happiness is where you are right now, pushing a pencil or pushing a plow, going to school or standing in line, watching and waiting or tasting, I should say, the wine. If you live in the past, you become senile. If you live in the future, you're on someday aisle. The fear of results is procrastination. The joy of today is a celebration. You can save, you can slave, trudging mile after mile, but you'll never set foot on your someday aisle. When you've paid all your dues and put in your time, out of nowhere comes another Mount Everest to climb. From this day forward, make it your vow, take someday aisle and make it your now. Love that one, right? And so many of us, myself included, I'm guilty of this too. We're always living in the future. I'm going to do that. But we live in the past. If we live in the past, oh, I should have done this. I should have bought that. We build regret. And that regret fills us in today's day, what we need to do today. Living in the future, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. You cloud your life with all of these doubts, these regrets, these what ifs, someday I'll let it go. Enjoy today. So today, hopefully you've picked up a few things. There's some non-routine thoughts that you've heard today. There's a bit of a parachute thing happening. You know, I've opened up your mind. Make sure the parachute opens up with it too, because if you jump out of the plane without your parachute, you're gonna go splat on the ground. I'm here to support you. Matt's here to support you. Our company's here to support you. I want to see you guys attain whatever your plan is. And if it is to become an award winner, I'll be the first one to be having the biggest smile on stage when you come up to get your plaque. Literally, I am. I don't want to see people fail in this business. And we have a very high attrition rate in our business. It's like 80% of people quit after 5 years. It's horrible. Can you imagine if doctors, you know, they graduate out of medical school and 80% quit after 5 years? That would be like the world's on fire problem in government. Like, what's going on over there? But yet that's what we have. We have 70 to 80% quit the business in 5 years. I believe it has a lot to do with not putting the system in place, not actually treating this as a business. Because you really have these two choices too. You're either a business operator or you become a hobbyist. Real estate becomes a hobby for you to sell. Do I want to work with a hobbyist if I'm buying and selling in real estate, or do I want to work with a business operator? But really, I'll leave that with you as your two choices. Are you a business operator or a hobbyist? And we'll see you next week. Matt's going to send you a whole bunch of stuff. And you know what? I kept up 5 minutes late. We started 5 minutes late, didn't we?
I think the class was 10 to 12, no?
Should be 10 to 1.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought 10 to 12 too.
I think it said
10 to 12.
10 to
Yeah.
12.
Oh.
Pretty
But
visual, so.
I'm happy it's.
Oh, so it should say 10 to 1.
Oh, okay, I mean, it's fine.
It should say, so.
It's 10 to whenever we stop.
Yes, I take control and I say, no, it should be 10 to 1.
Oh, but it was really very helpful. Thank you so much.
Next week. Oh, you're welcome. You'll see, see you next week. Matt will send the Excel file.